My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system, which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com.
All right, license 57433V1, monitoring with 4WON 432, that's Tracy Banks, 6780983. And this is the 7-Eleven in Upland, California, where the fake sun is present at 8:23 in the morning. And recall the entity's fake sun, I just captured it leaving that intersection at Furry and G Street. It's not remaining over that house outside where I'm inside of the car at 9:49 in the morning. I'm showing you what is the molestation of my thighs with directed light, aiming in multiple directions across the driver's seat and across my legs on the passenger seat at 7:32 in the morning. The entity's keeping the fake sun over the museum. The entity is keeping the fake sun directly over that vehicle. As a matter of documentation, you're talking about what is 9:49 in the morning, as I documented the other day. Today at 8:23 in Upland, California, where Tracy Banks, she's a third party. She's engaging in what is harassment and criminal defamation as a minion, okay? She's asking about what is harassment and stalking that she's a part of. Oh, you're going back to Upland Public Library where the police are stalking by helicopter, the same Upland Police Department that she has summoned on me when I initially started documenting her in 2018. Where the entity was keeping the fake sun over my apartment, by the way. So I want to be clear, like I captured on video yesterday, where this police departments are stalking me by helicopter, and this inhumanity from a demon-possessed third party, not a mother. Understand, you're dealing with Satan. In the same way I'm revealing to you what is demon possession, this is how you're dealing clinically with what are the demon possessed. And that's what you're witnessing me doing as Tracy Banks, who was one in the flesh and blood, you would identify as a mother. But as you witnessed through her very audible activity that she is speaking, I didn't make her say that. She said that herself. That I'm causing attention while the police are stalking me in a helicopter. That is how Satan seeks to blame you for its own demented conduct. That's her engaging in what is harassment as well, under the fake sun and indirected light. She is heavily documented engaging in that very exact same conduct. And I want to be clear, she's engaging in what is legally relevant as harassment. And she's engaging in what is the conduct of a psychopath. She's laughing about the fact that the entity is stalking me by helicopter. She's laughing about the fact that I'm documenting that, and she's going to federal prison with the rest of the third parties because of the criminal conduct that she's directly engaged in. 8FPA 873. She's monitoring at 7-Eleven under the fake sun and crossing path. All right, it's currently 8:25 a.m. All right, and that's dealing with what is a psychopath. She's monitoring with license 8XET911. She leaves on surveillance cameras. She proceeds to drive north on Euclid Avenue. And she's engaged in the same exact monitoring. That's why the fake sun's not remaining. It's over the vehicle where I remain outside of 630 North Fern. That's why it's not over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. It's right here. That's also why it's not over the Mercy House laundry room where I remained, as I documented days ago. Okay, it's right here over me at the 7-Eleven. This is the same 7-Eleven in Upland, California, where this fake sun is supposedly present, as though this is the natural environment. Of course, it's not. That will be present. You're talking about at the end of the day after 6:30 p.m. And while demons are opening and closing the door, then there's a molestation with light. That's the pattern of conduct that I'm documenting at Starbucks. That's the pattern of conduct while I'm sitting in the car. That's the pattern of conduct everywhere that I'm speaking to what is molestation with directed light. All right, it's 8:26 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, this is 7-Eleven in Upland, California. This is the ongoing terrorism swirling directed light while psychopaths are group stalking inside of the 7-Eleven. They're under the fake sun. This is the same exact pattern. And this is demonic. It's not just criminal. They're monitoring, but these are demons. This is demonic conduct. And this is also terrorism while they engage in that. And these are psychopaths who are demon-possessed, walking around as though they're just shopping, and that directed light is swirling through the store. Okay? This is P.O.C. It's currently 8:29 a.m. And I'm also referencing the surveillance cameras. Excuse me. License 84363G1, BN50H33, paper 8XSC 894, 6870193. This is P.O.C. They're monitoring with 7-Eleven. And this is exactly what they're doing in the evening as well. No, you go on ahead, minion. It's 8:30 a.m. License 8FPA 873. I read that one already. Let me get this one. They're engaging in what is terrorism, filling the 7-Eleven in Upland, California with directed light. And the Caucasian male that's in the 7-Eleven, his license is 7W8N593. And he's monitoring with this demon. Show you. License 8HTM588. He's pacing around at the gas stalls and directed light while he's doing so, okay? Directed light, as I've shown you on video, on the roof underneath the gas hood. Directed light all across the concrete while he's moving around. Demons that are patrolling on Euclid Avenue, directed light sprawling from the street toward the gas station. That's coming toward me, and while that demon is pacing around at the gas stall, directed light around and underneath the gas stall. I've captured video at this same exact venue. That white lady who was driving and carrying Michael Kors, I was making a point out of that, how it doesn't matter what your race is or what your economic status is. And she's a demon who was stalking, and that's why directed light was underneath an impossible placement of sunlight. That's exactly what they're doing together, and that's exactly the light that was filling inside of the 7-Eleven. Flashing, that is dynamic directed light, as opposed to what is the stationary presence of directed light in a manner which is revealing the presence of Satan. By the way, it's demonic. All right, that's terrorism. That's capturing while I'm inside of the 7-Eleven. That is Student Transportation of America molesting me right now. Directed light 76892G3. And those are demons driving school buses, engaging in the sex offense by the demon possessed. Group stalking, monitoring with the Upland Police Department. It's 8:41 a.m. and this is occurring at what is third-party facilitating venue, Upland First United Methodist Church, not a real church. Demonic conduct on the grounds of this supposed church, not holy grounds, also relevant to what is criminal conduct. License plate 5KCR 858, 4PSW 104, 6NKY, I can't really see the rest one, ATTS 675, I believe. All right, this is a group stalker, 8YYF 818, under the same fake sun that's remaining over my head as I'm walking, so you got one demon after another. License plate 8ZVE 256. The sun is not remaining stationary over Fern and G Street, that it would be aiming onto me over through the window of the vehicle that's parked outside of 630 North Fern, 7PRT 819. They're group stalking, and they're demons doing so. All right, and while that's why the entity also is keeping a fixin' over me while the Upland Police Department are stalking me by helicopter. All right, that's speaking to the criminal conduct that these demons who are stalking me, while I'm capturing them stalking me in a bathroom, which these psychopaths are then, again, waging false allegations, which are also defamatory allegations, while they, in fact, are the sex offender. All right, that's speaking to the way in which you're going to prosecute. And so I just want to be clear. This is a third party, Tracy Banks, as I'm documenting her harassment, because this is a minion. This is a demon-possessed minion. I'm not dealing with a mother. And by the way, even if your mother is criminally monitoring you, she's still subject to the law. But I'm giving you the full picture. This is a demon, all right, who is engaging in criminal monitoring, who is engaging in what is monitoring on behalf of an entity, and is engaging, her speech is not only accomplishing criminal monitoring, its substance is harassment by a demon-possessed entity that's placing me under surveillance. And she's engaging in what is harassment, 7W22472. It's a third-party license plate. O-Park, CF052 handicap, 8LZR378. And she's engaging in what is harassment, speaking to, her speech is 13146M1. That's another third party. Her speech is addressing the fact that, again, while the entity is stalking, the pattern of conduct is established. The entity is stalking by helicopters, stalking by airplanes, stalking by the very people of the state who are in a demented condition. These are demons who are stalking. All of this is a matter of what is objective evidence. All right. And so you're talking about the entity that's engaging in what is harassing somebody who is prosecuting you. And this is Satan. Let me be clear, Satan is very fearful, but Satan laughs and engages in what is conduct as though it's not fearful. That Satan engages in more of the criminal activity that it's caught engaging in. That's the personality of a psychopath. All right, and that's what Tracy Banks is. I'm dealing with Satan. I'm not dealing with a mother. Everything about her conduct and what you are witnessing, the things that she says, this is not a mother. This is a matter of common sense. You don't have to have a baby to know that. All right, you're talking about what is inhumane, what is revealing what is cruelty, what is abnormal, okay, what is evil, very twisted, what is cold, all right, and detached. I'm dealing with Satan. I'm dealing with a criminal. I'm dealing with somebody who's interested in what is relevant to her fate. All right, as I'm documenting her. You're talking about what is an enemy. That's the reality of Tracy Banks and her status and this demon that I'm confronting. So so understand that. That's what's the explanation. You want to know why? How do you get that? Because I'm revealing to you what's her condition. It's a demon. I'm dealing with Satan. And second of all, because she's directly engaged in this criminal system. 5WFU 944, 5ZOT 811, 5MPS 355, 97257G2. It's 8:45 a.m. License 7MOF 773, I believe. Omnitrans bus 2344, license 1545683. 8VRN 824. All right, and that's how you're prosecuting an entity, by the way. There is no sun, as I'm documenting where the fake sun is. It's over me. It's not over the bus stop where I'm standing waiting for the bus to arrive at 8:30 and it taking off at 8:36. And the entity keeping the fake sun as I'm going up the street to Upland, California. This is the entity keeping the fake sun over me while I'm on the bus. That's documentation of the entity as well. As I've shown, I've surrounded this entity, in other words, with what is the documentation, the criminal setting, the demonic environment that they are stalking with while they're engaging in this satanic targeting system. And so you have what is, I want to document this because it's directly relevant. I'm going to prosecute her. And she is talking about, and this is why I'm going to prosecute. It's not a matter of what is a personal vengeance. It's a matter of what an American citizen has a right to not be subject to. And you also need to know that Satan is not limiting its resources. Satan will use any minion in your life. And even if it includes your parents, your siblings, you're not dealing with flesh and blood. You're dealing with a spirit. You're dealing with Satan. And you need to get out of your emotions, get out of your feelings, because you need to deal with it clinically. All right. And this is a psychopath who is engaging in what is blaming me while this entity is stalking by helicopter. There is nothing that you can do to cause a police department to follow you around day and night by helicopter. That is a terrorizing, that is a terrorizing pattern of conduct by police who are engaging in corrupt and criminal conduct. And you have what is a third party as unfathomable. That doesn't even make any sense, right? That makes absolutely no sense. And not only does it not make any sense, you're talking about what is coming out of the mouth of somebody that is calling themselves a mother, that would like to be looked at and viewed as a mother, that has no argument in any court of law as to any deviation from the P.O.C. It does not change because she's blood related. It's even worse. All right. This is the demon possession that I'm revealing. Okay. And it's really literally personified through the speech. 7KXC684, directed light across Upland Public Library where they're stalking on Euclid Avenue. BV52B97, paper plate 94051E1. They're all demons. 7UQV113, and they're all stalking. BK26254, 5FFU227, JB Hunt, license 3ED484, demons. All right, and they're group stalking. That's why you have that impossible light activity, which I've documented before. So you have what is this third party Tracy Banks, while the fake sun is remaining over me in her vehicle while she's driving, and I arrive at the 7-Eleven in Upland, California, showing you what is the fake sun directly over me while I'm standing at that 7-Eleven, nowhere near a bus stop in Ontario, nowhere near the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, nowhere near the 150 East Hope Boulevard, nowhere near that bus stop, essentially, where I wait to get on either Route 61 or Route 83, depending on wherever it is that I go. Nowhere near the Mercy House laundry room, all right? Nowhere near those. It's over the car while she is driving. The back license plate, P816196, I believe. Substantially, some of that's JB Hunt. But the front license plate is correct. 7FYM050. 7YKM002. And so what I want to make sure I document, and she is talking about, I am causing what's happening to me. I'm causing the police to follow me around by helicopters. I'm causing them to engage in terrorizing and stalking me. That's literally what she said. You are causing, she's disregarding the fact that I cannot control what are people that are getting in helicopters and following me around, including while I'm in her car inside of her apartment complex. Understand, while you have what is that illogical, yet very, very cold and detached and wicked statement. That is nothing akin to what a mother would say, what a mother that has nothing to do with this would say or do. Okay, she's directly engaged in it. License 7LJD058, which you also know, not just based on her speech, which betrays her. All right, it's based on what is the fact that the entity is stalking me by helicopter where you live. You're a minion and you're monitoring. The entire apartment complex is monitoring, as I've already documented Woodside Senior Apartments. Entity keeping the fake sun over my head in front of her apartment, over my head in that apartment, aiming engineered light that I'm documenting, flashing inside, remaining inside of the Upland Public Library all day, as though the sun remains over the Upland Public Library all day. Well, that's conflict. That's in conflict with what is the entity keeping a fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments, apartment number 51 all day. Documented. Okay? The directed light inside of that venue, documented. All right, so like I said, this is a minion. This is a third party. It is also relevant that I happen to be blood related to her. It is for your information, for your own knowledge, when you're understanding what Satan is, what Satan does. Satan are the people. This is how Satan is present, through people, okay? And it's called demon possession. And this is why you're not supposed to be, you should not be shocked, and if you are shocked, you need to get over it, because you're dealing with a demonic force. All right, in the same way, it's a demonic force that's causing what are stalking conduct, abnormal stalking in helicopters day and night. That's a psychopath. That's Satan using people in a government to stalk somebody, stalk someone like myself. And I'm not subject to that condition. This is why I'm targeted by what is a satanic targeting system. And that's what group stalking is. And it's a matter of what is evidence. And that is what this minion, Tracy Banks, does not have to support her and all of her conduct while she's engaged in the pattern in the P.O.C. She doesn't have any evidence. All she has is laughing and hoping that it hurts my feelings and hoping that it somehow deters me, or hoping that it somehow angers or frustrates me. That's literally all that this demon is doing. And what it is, actually, it's not doing any of that. This is speaking to what is an inhumane treatment of one that is not a mother. It's revealing demon possession. Understand that. That's the explanation for what is cold and detached, entirely illogical and unnatural and abnormal reaction to what is supposedly your daughter, who you are aware, because you always happen to be there when the helicopters are flying over me. That's not a matter of opinion. All right. And this is what this third party is saying. Oh, that's just in your mind that they're following me from place to place. No, it's not in my mind when night after night they're flying over me, flying in circles over me by helicopter. When I'm in your car, flying over me in your car in your apartment complex, flying over me when I'm staying in your apartment by helicopter. And then those same demon possessed police who are already engaged in surveillance running up inside of that apartment complex. This is documented. While she engaged in what is criminal summoning, the same conduct I'm documenting, it's the pattern of conduct. This is that explanation for it. And this is not a mother. All right, but my argument against her is not going to be the fact that she's a horrible mother. You're not a mother because you engaged in the reproductive act, because you had sex and got pregnant. That's not a mother. A mother is a term of art. This is a cold piece of work, a treacherous enemy with regard to what is going on with her spiritually, her condition. This is Satan I am dealing with. This is demon possession. And you witnessed it for yourself. I'm not just opining right here. You witnessed this minion say on video while the Montclair police are stalking again by helicopter under what is not possibly the sun at 10:58 a.m., documentation showing what the entity is doing. I've used that specific time to illustrate this, while those demons are pacing around me with directed light, including her, and she is stating that I am the cause. It's my fault. I'm causing attention to myself while I'm documenting that criminal system that I am subject to. That is literally what came out of her mouth. And so this morning, today, I want to document harassment by the entity. She is stating that it's my fault while they are engaging in what is stalking in a bathroom, and all of the lies which you are listening to them speak, while those minions, who I'm documenting on an ongoing basis, are then stalking while they're maintaining presence in the Upland Public Library on behalf of the Upland Police Department that is stalking me by helicopter. They're stalking in the bathroom via the people of the state. And then you have them lying, going from what is name calling, then escalating to what is, oh, I'm taking pictures of them naked, but where is the one that's waging the allegation? Somebody that I clearly must have traumatized if I'm taking pictures of them naked. Where's this person at? Why did they walk out of the bathroom silent as though nothing happened? The entirety of my documentation is captured on podcast, by the way. They know that this is unfounded. They know that what it is that I'm documenting, that's why they're making such unfounded allegations. They think that they can bully me, all right? That's what this is. This is why Erica's raising her voice. All of this is documented. You're going to federal prison for that. Those are no small things. The government that's stalking you by helicopter seeks to engage in what is then group harassment. Okay, harassment by an entity who also is seeking to obstruct justice, and that's the bottom line. You go to federal prison for that. It's also relevant, the allegations. Okay, those are, let me be clear, the allegations waged are those that's supposed to result in some sort of kidnapping. That's exactly what resulted, but not on the unfounded basis that they want to. Actually, even trespassing is unfounded, but I'll get to that in a second. The unfounded basis of some defamatory allegation that I'm taking pictures of people in the nude because that's the only thing that would be unlawful while I'm using my phone like every other third party in the bathroom in the central area. When you're in the bathroom stall doors are closed. All right, so you're saying that I'm forcing you to keep the door open? I'm busting in the doors? Okay, well, that would have been documented. All right, and you're talking about this is the conduct that we're engaging in? Okay, well, then they did not even go into the bathroom. There is nobody that's speaking to. She's the one that violated me. She's the one that's taking pictures. Where's this person at? Because I tell you what, if somebody busted in on me on the bathroom, just like I documented the third party harassing me in the bathroom, you don't have anything to hide. All right, when they make these false allegations, because they're all monitoring together, you have we can't reveal, we're not supposed to, they're protecting some mysterious third party. Let me be clear, in the same way that they don't have to call the police, they're already stalking and monitoring. They don't even have to have they're stalking and monitoring together. They're engaging in playing roles. So the same entity monitoring the entity as I walk out of the bathroom is then addressing me. Oh, somebody said that you hurt their feelings because you called them a sex offender. When I'm not talking to you, I can say whatever I want to say on my phone. All right. And then you're talking about what is then rising. Oh, now I'm taking pictures of you in the nude. Oh, okay. All right. So how is that going to work? And you can't make sense of that. All right. So then you're talking about, okay, well, then we just want you to leave. And if you don't leave, then we're going to get you for trespassing because your allegations are unfounded, because you can't make sense of it, because I'm not stupid enough for that to work, for you to kidnap me on those bases, on those defamatory bases. Understand that's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous for them. Okay. They're going to federal prison for that. Every single last minion that I documented. Every single last one of them. And this is the conduct where Tracy Banks is saying it's my fault, where I am being excluded because I'm documenting the criminal conduct of an entity that's engaging in this act of terrorism and state surveillance, which she is clearly witnessing. And don't forget about the fact when she's playing psychic, when she's nowhere near Fontana, when there's no conversation about the Fontana Lewis Library, but yet she's telling me as though she's got some ambush of information, and you got kicked out of Fontana too. You thought I didn't know that? All you're doing is telling on yourself, Satan. Yeah, I already know that you know that because you're a group stalker. That's why she's giving up her own. She's not intelligent whatsoever. And that is speaking to the ongoing knowledge that she maintains while she is part of the same entity, whether I'm sleeping in her car, whether I'm sleeping outside. This is a psychopath that intends to what is harass while she is monitoring, and also seeks to, again, that's another form of what is an infliction of harm. You want to blame the targeted individual while you're monitoring them. You are literally group stalking while the entity is stalking by Montclair police yesterday. She's engaged in that criminal monitoring. While then you are looking at her stalking in the path in directed light under the fake sun, and out of her mouth that demon says you're causing attention to yourself. So don't be distracted by that. But that's the personality of Satan. License 7JJL700 8BZC 526. It's 8:57 a.m. 8TMW911 07696H3 30878B2 45751S1 5XWV400. It's 8:57. All right, they're monitoring me while I'm sitting at the Upland Public Library, and those demons are stalking in the path with light while directed light moves across the Upland City Hall. 7BCG597, the wall of the Upland City Hall. Impossible light activity. That's exactly what they're doing inside of the Starbucks, inside of the vehicle. 8BOU216, 5LLY732, 6DTN174, 8NVF338. You're talking about what is a delusional psychopath, as I'm speaking about Tracy Banks, who was surrounded with a body of evidence. All right, 6028V, handicap. This is why you document as well, because Satan intends to lie. You're talking about what is supposed to be a hallucination with regard to directed light. It's a matter of objective evidence. The entity stalking by helicopter by these police departments, it's a matter of objective evidence. And you have what is the conduct of the people of the state. And that's illustrated by Tracy Banks. Literally, the criminal activity, the speech that I'm telling you, this is the pattern of conduct by the people who are monitoring and targeting you, and then they just lie about it. 8LYB235, and it's pathetic. All right, and so you have what is a delusional psychopath engaging. How would you even form your lips? Well, I see how. 8MAE636, that's the psychopath. That right there is a psychopath in and of itself. That they would form their lips when you know exactly all the documentation, all the evidence, in other words, that is already waged against you. You don't have a legitimate leg to stand on. There is nothing that she can say in a court of law about her being, number one, a mother, or number two, anything other than a third party. She's going to federal prison like the rest of them. Okay. And I wouldn't change that even if she had a plausible form as a mother, because you're talking about what is uniform policy. This is about American citizens. It's not about me personally. Even if I, quote unquote, wasn't subject to somebody that doesn't even have the form as a mother. She's no mother whatsoever. APPJ 907, 7WWC 851. But understand, even if she kept a straight face, even if she had form, even if it wasn't so clear that she's a group stalker, a demon-possessed one, monitoring with the police departments, 36195H3, it would still be the same. You're talking about what are the elements of monitoring. All right, 8LRX126, but Tracy Banks doesn't even have that. Okay, engaged in what is criminal summoning, the same exact police department. All right, you're talking about what is May of 2018. She's talking about, oh, you've been talking about you're going to prosecute. You've been saying this since 2018, and ha ha ha. Good, yeah, okay, yeah, right. It's all in your mind. This is all of her audible activity. This is not a mother. This is a psychopath, and this is again encountering what is Satan. And it's tragic, like I stated, as I documented, as that minion came out of her mouth saying you're causing attention to yourself, while the Montclair police, you would be a fool to not document the police stalking you, by the way. You would be a fool. All right, so you have the entity engaging in what is a pattern of stalking me by helicopter, including while I'm with her in her car at her apartment complex, and in her presence also in public. All right, where she is group stalking and the entity is stalking by helicopter. You would be a fool not to document that. All right, and while I'm documenting it, while she is engaging in that criminal conduct, she is at the same time revealing the fact that you're dealing with demon possession, as I told you. Where does that coldness, where does that treachery come from? This is Satan. This is not a mother. All right. And that's not what we're arguing in federal court. This is about criminal monitoring. It could be your mother. It could be your cousin. It could be your boyfriend. It could be your auntie. I don't care who it is. It's elements of monitoring, and there is no exception to that. And that's what you need to understand. And that's also what you're learning when you're witnessing my experience with group stalking as I'm prosecuting it. All right. It's currently 9:01 a.m. I'm going to show you what is the fake sun that remains here at the same property well after 6 p.m. The entity keeps the fake sun. All it does is move literally to be from over me at the Veterans Center, the Veterans Monument area, as I've documented at this time before, and then to be over the roof of the Upland Public Library all day long, aiming light into the Upland Public Library all day long, but not when I am, again, in Montclair at Starbucks. But this is the pattern of conduct. And then those demons engaging in what is stalking in a bathroom are nothing other than mad because you are documenting their criminal conduct. And how do you respond with what is the truth? Well, there's nothing that you can say other than continuously lie. And while you are lying and you are caught in those lies, then you want to engage in what is trying to remove that person. How are you doing that? The demon-possessed police, none of them have any legitimacy. The police are stalking. Okay, so while you want to engage in what is criminal conduct, I'm going to prosecute the police department, the sheriff's department, and the court system. The minions in the court. And then those who are monitoring with them, the people of the state, they're all subject to federal prison. Literally, it's systematic. It's like dominoes. They're all going down. Okay. So, and I'm showing you what is the way that system operates. The fake sun is remaining over the Veterans Monument area, and it's 9:02 a.m. And you're talking about after 5 o'clock in the evening, in the afternoon, whatever you want to call it. The entity is keeping directed light as though the sun is over the same building or in a position next to that building, as though the natural environment. I mean, the actual sun. No, it's not. And it's also not while it remained over Starbucks all day yesterday. That's the ongoing documentation. And you want to create rules to try to obstruct justice. You go to federal prison for that. Because you are a bunch of sex offenders who are stalking in a bathroom, who know exactly what's being documented about you, while you're making up lies, which also shows that you're stalking and monitoring. That's why you're going to that extent to make up lies. All right. And to engage in what is criminal summoning and and when that doesn't work, all right, you're talking about what is then trying to just remove me altogether. And then if I don't leave where I have a right to be, let me be clear. This is Upland City Hall. Okay, this is the city of Upland. This is the Upland Public Library. I have a right to be there. And you're waging false allegations that then doesn't work, okay, because I'm too intelligent for that. So let's talk about this. How is this going to work? And you're not actually doing any investigation. You're stalking. But let's talk about your false allegations. And when those false allegations fall to the wayside, then you want to engage in what is removing me. You don't have a right to do so because your lies didn't work. Understand, that's a criminal act by the city of Upland. I have a right to be inside of the Upland Public Library. I have a right to use my phone inside of the Upland Public Library, especially when you're documenting criminal activity. All right, the city of Upland has a lot to learn, especially when you're documenting engaging in what is terrorism, stalking by police departments and helicopters, and then seeking to exercise fictitious authority because you want to obstruct the fact that that's been documented. You want to obstruct justice. That's not going to work, and everybody's going to federal prison for that. Every single last one, like I said, and I mean when I said. All right, it's 9:04 a.m. The fake sun is over the Veterans Monument area. You're talking about being over the roof. Okay, that's literally 15 steps as I walk then inside of the Upland Public Library where the fake sun remains over engineered light. The same engineered light that's swiping across the buildings outside, the entity is keeping planted inside the Upland Public Library for the duration of the day, suggesting that the sun is over the roof in order for that to remain all day. No, that's not the natural environment. And it is also speaking to what is stationary maintenance of a fake sun. That's the P.O.C. And it is also speaking to what is non-movement while I walk 15 steps into the Upland Public Library, which is where the Veterans the Veterans Monument area is. Okay, 15 feet in the direction south to going from the monument to the inside of the Upland Public Library. All right, so I want to be clear on that. It's 9:04 a.m. All right, I am capturing what is the fake sun. People group stalking on Euclid Avenue standing right behind me on video while I'm capturing this video, so I'm going to document their license plates. Of course, they're group stalking in inside of the Upland City Hall as well. This is a van. This is an African-American and Caucasian male. I'll show you them. They're group stalking, and at the moment that I stop the video, they use their car door as a method of stalking with activity, and these are psychopaths that are group stalking. Alrighty, it's currently 9:14 a.m., and these third parties are going to Upland City Hall, a state facilitating venue. They're monitoring. And they're, again, this is the entity that does not want to be documented. You don't want to face justice, but yet you're being a stalker with the state. All right, and this is what I mean by delusional psychopath. They are parked even in perfect alignment with me. So you're talking about what is 8S39776. This is the African-American and the Caucasian male. They're group stalking where they park. They close the van door. Because they're driving a gray van. They park in alignment with me where I'm standing capturing this video that I just captured right now at approximately like 9:02 a.m. Or 9:03, something like that. I just captured video right now. It's 9:14 a.m. And at the moment that I stop recording, that's what they're doing. They're monitoring and they're stalking with audible activity. These demons close the van door. That's a creation of audible activity with simultaneity to my activity. They are group stalking where the entity is aiming directed light. Like I said, they're demons that are stalking with directed light, swiping across the Upland City Hall and Upland Public Library walls. They're no exception to that. They're monitoring. 24771Z1. There's no change in that P.O.C. Okay, so that goes without saying. When I'm documenting the entity that's stalking me yesterday by helicopter, it's the same entity that's stalking and molesting while you're seeing them drive by in the parking lot of Starbucks with directed light, an impossible occurrence. There's no cessation of that pattern of conduct. They're all demons and they're all group stalking. It's the same pattern of conduct. All right, so like I said, and I was pointing that out to you, let me remind you about this is one entity. As I go from city to city, I'm documenting the specific actor. The specific actor is acting on behalf of the stalker, that is the state of California. This is what every police department is engaging in the state of California. This is what all of the people of the state are engaging in the state of California. License 8RLY314. 6507 W1, substantially some of that's HD supply, 40652X2, UPS, 7JYG749. So I just want to get that, and I captured their images. They're stalking with audible activity, and then they walk into, which is crossing a path, under the fake sun, okay? And amongst directed light. And then talking about, don't take my picture. You're monitoring. This is what I mean by delusional. You are stalking, you're going to be documented, and this is speaking to the necessary legislation where the entity seeks to engage in what is obstructing justice in that regard. And that's exactly what the Upland Public Library engaged in, and those are criminals. Okay, Kunker, let me tell you, not only is this a criminal, this is a psychopath. You hear the audible activity on my podcast. I just want to make this last point, because you hear on my podcast, they're talking about, Erica, what's your last name? Okay, how old are you, Erica? What do you think? I'd say 30. Like, they don't know my name, like they don't know who I am. The Upland Police Department are stalking me every day with helicopters. Okay? Engaging in what is stalking as I come to the city of Upland by helicopters and their demon-possessed police officers, stalking, pacing all around me under what is an unnatural environment, under the fake sun, in other words, amongst directed light, with these demons who are stalking all around inside of the 7-Eleven as I'm walking down the street, okay, any street. They're group stalking. They know exactly who I am. But even further than that, this is also the case, not only based on the P.O.C., which you are clearly surrounded by the evidence of the P.O.C. that is underway. This same psychopath, Kunker, is talking about, and this is the Caucasian female, she says, while after she's engaged in an assault and battery, she's engaged in an ongoing kidnapping, her audible activity is speaking to what is an admission. First of all, it's an admission because she's speaking to what is knowledge of the fact that she's being documented. She's posing an impermissible threat while she is engaging in what is kidnapping, and she's monitoring, and she is admitting to knowledge of the fact that I documented her. And she's saying, Erica, you used to be a lawyer. All right, she has specific information about me because we have never conversed. All right, and she's talking about, Erica, what's your name? But yet you know that I used to be a lawyer. Oh, you know about my YouTube channel. You know that I specifically documented you and put it on that particular platform. That's very specific. On my YouTube channel, my entire name is there. In addition to, I already know that you know who I am. You're stalking me by helicopters. But you know who I am also while you're referencing my documentation on a very specific platform, where I even put documentation specifically of you. All right. And I document her. She said, you put me on, you used to be a lawyer, right? You put me on YouTube. All right. So let me be clear. This is a psychopath that is on my podcast who was asking about my name, asking about my age. You're monitoring, first of all. But second of all, she knows exactly who I am. That's why you know what specific platform. I didn't put it on Facebook. I didn't put it on TikTok. Oh, I put it on YouTube. Okay. I put it on YouTube, and I put a video of you on YouTube. Oh, okay. The video documentation where the entity is keeping a fake sun over me, as I documented on March 16, 2022. And I used that video as ample documentation as I went about to other cities and counties and showed you what is not the sun that's over me in the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, who are group stalking with the Upland Police Department, which she is present in that video, group stalking. Monitoring with the same third parties who are lying, or they're lying together. That was monitoring that I'm documenting while they engaged in kidnapping. That's exactly what she was engaged in, as I documented March 16, 2022. Monitoring with the people of the state. Focusing that it's another iteration of the same exact pattern of conduct. They're monitoring with the people. They're under the fake sun, and I use that a specific timestamp as an example as I went about and showing, continuously using that time as an example of what is not the sun. As we walk out and I'm in handcuffs and I'm no longer recording on my podcast, as they have illegally seized my property, you have what is an admission to documentation. This is the entity that's not deterred by the fact that they're being documented. You go to federal prison for that. That's an admission, while she is ignorant of the significance of the words that are coming out of her mouth. Okay, she's speaking to what is knowledge of the fact that you've been documented. You know that you're being documented. The entity knows it's being documented, and it is continuously, obsessively stalking and harassing and terrorizing. You're going to sit in federal prison for that. Okay, this is the government that's engaging in this, and that's the significance of what she stated. But I just want to be clear, you're going to juxtapose that with her statement as though she doesn't know who I am. Erica, what's your last name, Erica? Okay, well, how old are you? And then when we walk outside, oh, you used to be a lawyer, right? Yeah, you put me on YouTube. All right. She's stating specific knowledge as to, if you know that I put your video on YouTube, then you searched my page. You know exactly. Oh, you know what trade what legal background that I have, even though that's not specifically mentioned on my YouTube channel. Okay. I just put my name. All right. I did not put that I used to formally practice law. I didn't put any of that on there. Okay. You're talking about somebody that's done research. If you want to disregard the pattern of conduct, because you know the pattern of conduct, they already know who you are, they're stalking you. But disregard the pattern of conduct, then that in and of itself, her statement in and of itself is speaking to, oh, you've done research on me. Oh, you know who I am because I didn't put my legal background or anything on my YouTube channel. So what is it that you're referencing, Minion? This is the same one that's speaking to asking me names. It's audible activity. They are stalking. They know exactly what's going on with my panties while I'm documenting the people of the state, who then exit lying about what is name calling and then lying together, talking about I'm taking pictures of them naked. I just want to point that out as well. This is the Upland Police who are stalking me by helicopter. It's documented. There's a pattern of this. The evidence is already documented of what they're doing. And then they literally enter in and engage in what is authority as though they have any whatsoever under the law. You're stalking. And that's the delusional psychopath that are the people of the state and the entity that's group stalking. All right. So it's 9:21 a.m. I just want to bring that to your attention. And as I remain at the Upland City Hall, the Upland Public Library area, this is where the entity is keeping the fake sun, as I've shown, after 6:30 p.m. on the same street. The entity is keeping a fake sun in alignment with me as I then take the bus back toward what is Ontario, California. You know this. I've documented it day in and day out. But remember, when I'm not exiting after 6:30 p.m. as I'm documenting, and I remain at that intersection, and I showed you what's the arrival of that bus long after. All right. I took an early schedule. I left Upland Public Library earlier, and I stood at that intersection of Euclid and Holt Boulevard. There's no sun that's remaining in alignment with the Upland Public Library after 6:30 p.m., remaining at 9th Street, which is not going to be the case anyway. But nonetheless, you're looking at what is a grand departure from remaining at that location based on the time that I leave. If I leave an hour earlier, so does that fake sun. And that fake sun remains stationary at Euclid and Holt Boulevard over Rich's Second Jewelry and Loan, diagonally aiming on toward me. And while those minions are group stalking in direct light at that intersection where I stood there and documented, this is the day where the Ontario Police, the Upland Police, the entity, the state of California, the people of the state engaged in assault and battery by entity. Remember that? Moments later, the Ontario Police are stalking by helicopter. Those are demons engaging in a celebratory conduct. This is how demons are engaging in conduct. So they fly over my head, and this is Satan that's literally... I mean, you're talking about I'm capturing on video, you're going to federal prison for that. But like I said, this is the idiot that flies over me by helicopter, which I document on video. And it is moments after the entity has engaged in assault and battery, which is nothing to celebrate. But that's what Satan did. That's the Ontario Police Department, and it's directly relevant to the assault and battery by this entity, the group stalkers who are stalking in bathrooms. And as I documented, they're engaged in an assault and battery. That includes Upland, California. It's the same entity. The Ontario Police Department engaged in kidnapping. The same entity. Okay. So like I said, it is 9:23 a.m. and I just want to point that out. And this is the environment where they are stalking together, and they're stalking in the bathroom. They are doing so while I'm showing you what is the abnormal environment. While the sun remains over a Starbucks on Central Avenue in Montclair, California. At no time is it ever over the roof of the Upland Public Library. That goes for the Dunkin' Donuts that I document on Mountain Avenue in Upland, California as well. The entity is keeping the fake sun over me, and I'm just giving you example after example. The entity kept that fake sun over Dunkin' Donuts in Upland, California on Mountain Avenue, if you recall that. The entity was aiming directed light across that Dunkin' Donuts wall on the inside of that donut shop. They're demons. Okay, this is the same conduct that the entity is engaging in the Starbucks. Like I said, the wealth of documentation already exists. So when I'm documenting minions such as Tracy Banks, who was a delusional psychopath, that psychopath is illustrated. That is not hidden. That they're psychopaths. You're dealing with what is demon possession, and these are psychopaths that are engaging in what is harassment, and that's why you have what is a detached, very, very cold and inhumane and delusional psychopath who is demon possessed, who's group stalking, and her name is Tracy Banks. She's surrounded by a body of evidence. She finds that her energy is that it's entertaining, but actually it's not. You're dealing with Satan. You're dealing with Satan that is very scared but laughs when it's scared. All right. You're dealing with Satan that engages in a maniacal rise of conduct when it's scared to its own demise. Okay. While you want to engage in more molestation with directed light, while you're documenting, you're going to sit in a psychiatric ward. That's where you're going. You're going to be prosecuted, and you're going to sit in a straitjacket in a psychiatric ward based on your conduct speaking to what is a threat to the very public. You're a psychopath who intends to terrorize somebody else. And you're doing so against one who is documenting it. So it's not a matter of you trying to establish, oh, it's in your... No, it's not in anybody's mind. It's in your mind. It's in your mind that you think somehow you're going to get away with what is a pattern of conduct that has, up until my point, been documented as a matter of objective evidence. You're going to sit in federal prison for that. And that's a psychopath that intends to get away with what is entirely abnormal and unfathomable criminal activity. That's the psychopath. Okay, so that delusional psychopath is then shown when you're surrounded by evidence. So now what, Satan? Oh, you're still just going to keep that on vacuous argument, laughing as though it's funny. You know nothing's funny about being documented. Ain't nothing funny about being documented, about being surrounded with what is direct evidence of what is something you don't want to have any parts with in a federal court. But nonetheless, that's what Tracy Banks does. This is the pattern of the entity. This is demonic. Understand that conduct by a mother. That's not just a bad mother. Understand that's demonic. This is demonic. This is demon possession. All right. And that is also speaking to, you're witnessing demon possession while you have what is the cold and detached. This is a mother that has sacrificed her daughter. She's monitoring me. She's engaging what is satanic conduct with the rest of these strangers. No normal person would do that. All right. She's literally sacrificed her daughter and engaging in it and doing so in a very cold manner. You see her face and she says, I'm causing attention to myself while I have done nothing to cause the police to stalk me in helicopters. Done nothing. And no American citizen has done anything to deserve that. No one. The police are totally out of line with the law and they will be put in place. Okay. That's going to be handled. But what you're witnessing, pay attention. Pay attention. Satan is showing you its face. That's what you need to pay attention to. That's what I also want you to learn. Okay. You're witnessing what is the presence of Satan, and it is particularly cold when it's going by the name of somebody that you know, perhaps even somebody that gave birth to you. Okay. And that's what Tracy Banks represents. You're witnessing Satan as you are looking at that cold demeanor, that sacrifice that she has literally made me while she's monitoring me and has in every way sought to obstruct justice herself. And she's going to federal prison like any other criminal. She will not be treated any different. All right. And she in no way is engaged in any different conduct at all. But like I said, there is no exception. And that's how, this is why I love the law, because under the law, it's uniform. There is no respect of persons under the law, and you will be prosecuted based on that. And this is criminal monitoring. And she's engaged in criminal monitoring. All right, so it's currently 9:28 a.m. and the entity's keeping the fake sun, as I've already documented, for the duration of the day. And you're going to recall what I documented, because that is not possibly the case when the entity's keeping necessarily a fake sun directly over the Starbucks as I arrive there off on Central Avenue in Montclair, California. Okay, this is the P.O.C. All right, it's currently 10:07 a.m. and I want to document this. You have the name is Yuri Hurtado, and she meets me at the door as I'm entering in at 10 o'clock in the morning, in direct light and under the fake sun. And I want to be clear, she hands me a piece of paper, all right, that she prints up identifying herself as the director. And the paper says, you are banned from 1 year from the Upland Public Library due to filming patrons in a private area and refusing to leave the library when instructed to do so. This is the criminal act that the Upland Police were engaged in, as I documented on Saturday. And this issue with what is the unfounded allegations of filming someone in the bathroom is that which they sought to. First of all, the Erica and Kristen are the actors who are engaging in talking about. I called names. I was calling people names in the bathroom. And then you have what is summoning the police, and the police are stating, which is what I documented, this is all on podcast, that I'm capturing images of people naked in the bathroom, because that's necessarily what you're doing in order to break the law in the bathroom. And all of these are unfounded allegations, right? This is a matter of my own documentation. And then you have what is printing up a piece of paper, and you're reiterating. And remember, those false allegations fall short. So then you have what is asking, we would like for you to leave today. And then if you don't leave, then we're going to arrest you for trespassing. All right, which does not make a trespass when you're engaging in what is making up information and then calling the police to remove me. And that's what the police did. They engaged in a kidnapping when they were then lying and then not investigating anything. So there's nobody that's talking about, where's the person that I'm supposedly filming? Where is the, again, and this person doesn't show up because, and obviously I documented that did not happen. And you have what is then their exclusion based on, well, we want you to leave now after you're lying, and I'm breaking down the fact that you're lying, and in order to have me removed from the library while I'm documenting them with the Upland Police. So today you putting in writing, again, this is defamation. And this is seeking, again, this is an entity that's engaged in the pattern of conduct, and they're doing so. This is the tactic while you're documenting them, and this is just the entity that doesn't want you to be around while you're documenting their criminal acts with the police. That's what this is relevant to. But also, it's based on what are false allegations. The ongoing conversation, all of this is based on the subject matter of what was calling names in the bathroom, which is what Erica was present addressing. And then the entity is engaging in what is name calling. And then while the Upland Police, as I'm documenting them, stalking with the Upland Public Library, then they're talking about they were called because I was capturing images of people in the bathroom. And the person that I supposedly violated is nowhere to be found. They immediately remove themselves from this subject of what is a sex offense. That will be a sex offense, capturing people in the nude in the bathroom. All right. You have what is, again, unfounded, and they know what I'm documenting. They know that it's a matter of what is not substantiated by evidence whatsoever. That's why they're not entering into the bathroom. That's why there's no person stating, oh yeah, she captured my legs. She captured me sitting on the toilet with my legs down. With my pants down. She tried to break into the bathroom stall doors. She's trying to engage in what is capturing images of me while I'm naked, and she's calling me a sex offender. None of this happens, all right? While they then, again, remove themselves from that allegation and then say, okay, well, we just want you to leave, and if you don't leave, then it's going to be a trespass. So understand what that is. So they put in writing these same false allegations, which they immediately remove themselves from, meaning they want to stop that conversation and we just want you to leave. That's exactly what happened on Saturday. And so today, while I return to the Upland Public Library, you have the minions putting in paper this false allegations that I'm filming patrons in a private area in the restroom and then refusing to leave, which is not what happened. I am addressing what is the lie. This is hearsay, and that's what I was talking to Erica and Kristen about. The fact that you're going to enforce some quote unquote rule based on what is lying. If I was name calling, because I'm breaking that down, because I'm talking on my phone, I could talk about whatever I want. I'm not addressing anyone in the bathroom, and I didn't have to address anyone in the bathroom for to document them. But you have what is then stating that I'm name calling, and then that is again then rises to what is I'm capturing images which they have no evidence of. They don't even have a person to substantiate it. And understand, if that was a sex offense, believe me, these minions will pull that minion out and state, she took pictures of me, she was doing this XYZ. If that actually happened, it did not happen. And that's also documented, obviously, my own documentation shows that did not happen. And I want to be clear. So the entity is engaging in what is kidnapping, talking about my refusal to leave, and that's not a refusal to leave. It's documenting what you're lying. You're targeting with the police now. And then you're talking about what is a trespass, which that was not a trespass on Saturday either. So today they're putting in writing what are, again, reiterating these false allegations, which they were proven to be false as I stood there documenting them on Saturday. And that's why they went to then, well, we just want you to leave for the day. And if you don't leave, then I'm going to arrest you. This is what Vanderbilt is stating. I'm going to arrest you for trespassing, which does not convert into a trespass because you were lying, and I'm breaking down the fact that you're lying. It's relevant, and you need to document the entity that's lying on you and get engaging in this P.O.C. while they're monitoring you. All right, and so I'm getting the names. I'm finding out what is it that you're lying about. Well, what is it that you're stating that I did, and this is a lie, and now you want me to just leave now because I'm breaking down the fact that you're lying. That does not convert into a trespass. That's not what a trespass is, and it does not convert into a trespass because your lying did not work. Okay, meaning it didn't work, meaning I'm not going to stand there silent while you're talking about some nonsense. I'm taking pictures of people in the bathroom. Okay, well, where is this person that I clearly violated? Because if that was the case, let me be clear, they would be standing right there. You would have heard it on my podcast. You would have it would have been very clear with regard to what is a sex offense while I'm standing waiting for a bathroom stall while minions are pacing in and out of the bathroom, standing in the mirror, walking in and out of the bathroom area, which is speaking to the pattern of conduct that's underway in the bathroom. They are reiterating, and again, a false allegation, which is also defamatory. This is the pattern of conduct while they're monitoring in a bathroom. And this is what, while the entity is stalking by helicopters, doing so under the fake sun, while they're fearful of the fact that you're documenting it, this is the P.O.C. obstruction of justice. And I want to be clear, Yuri Hurtado, she looks like she's an overweight Caucasian female monitoring at the same 7-Eleven as I document it. Under the fake sun, she was monitoring. She's driving the black Camry. This is the third party. Well, she's a state actor, identifying herself as the director. She's a minion engaging in what is obstruction of justice. She hands me a piece of paper, a printout, and stating that it says, you may appeal this ban to the library director. This is the library director who doesn't want to communicate. She hands me a piece of paper citing what are false allegations that are no way substantiated. There's no person alleging it. There's no person alleging that I'm name calling. I'm name calling? No, that does not equal name calling because I'm talking on my phone. That's a bunch of nonsense. I can talk about whatever I want on my phone while I'm not addressing you. And while you are in the bathroom, that does not equal some sex offense inside of the bathroom. It equals a sex offense while the state is group stalking and you're monitoring in that bathroom. That's the sex offense. The sex offense is not because I'm in operation of my phone, which third parties are as well, while they're in the bathroom. And you're assuming that they're filming because they're on their phone in the bathroom? No, you're not. You're monitoring me and you know that you're being documented. That does not equal a sex offense. And that is also unsubstantiated under the facts. This is also why they immediately depart from that false narrative and then begin okay, well, we want you to leave. So I just want to make sure I break that down. And it's all occurring in what is the specific environment where I'm documenting the fake sun that remains over for the duration of the day. So today, which is May 31st, 2022, you have what is Yuri Hurtado, who is identifying herself as the director, also engaged in criminal summoning as I documented in 2021. And that was the entity that was monitoring while I was inside of the study room, stating that they got complaints while I'm in the study room, humming to myself inside of the study room by myself, while they engage in what is monitoring me, filling the study rooms with a bunch of adults with loud children who are banging and running across. But they engaged in on this day last year, on a particular day, as I documented in 2021, monitoring, talking about I'm creating a disturbance. They got complaints while I am in a study room by myself humming. Well, you have, again, I'm just showing you what is the pattern of targeting. And they engaged in criminal summoning as I documented last year while I'm inside of the study room humming versus third parties as I document, group stalking in the study rooms around me, playing music. All right, filling the study rooms with children, loud children who are running around, hitting the walls, and engaging in what is loud, boisterous activity with a bunch of adults and children. This is what they fill with the study rooms to monitor me. And there is no issue with regard to what is complaints for a disturbance. So I'm just giving you what is ongoing examples of what is the P.O.C. while they are, again, fearful as I'm documenting them, and they should be fearful. This is obstruction of justice. This is targeted harassment while they're monitoring. And this Yuri Hurtado hands me this piece of paper and runs off. All right, and speaking to, I'm asking, what is this process that you just came up with? You're banning me on some lies that you came up with on Saturday, which were a bunch of malarkey. All right, that's literally what you witnessed. You're lying. I'm name calling. Okay, well, that's not true. And you're making very specific assumptions about what I'm doing on my phone while you're monitoring, by the way. But making specific assumptions about what am I doing on my phone when I'm doing the same thing that everyone else is doing in the bathroom, by the way, using their phone, talking on their phone, walking in the bathroom with their phone. But yet you're assuming that I'm recording you, and you're also stating that I'm calling specifically you names. I'm calling you names while you're in the bathroom not addressing me, and I'm in the bathroom not addressing you. And I'm using my phone. You're using your phone. We're both in the bathroom. But you're what is engaging and what is making allegations, not only that I'm name calling, but I'm also taking pictures of you in the nude. All right, because that's the only violation that's going to occur in the general area in the bathroom. I'm not busting into bathroom stall doors. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. And this is Yuri Hurtado, which is the director, who is then handing me a piece of paper in direct light under the fake sun of the Upland Public Library and then running away. And it says, you may appeal this ban to the library director in writing. All right, so this is the P.O.C. who is present. This is Cindy and Carissa. You have Tracy Randolph, and again, Yuri Hurtado, who meets me at the entrance door. This is a group stalker who knows exactly where I am and meets me at the entrance doors to obstruct my ability to enter. And hands me the piece of paper and states that she is banning me from the library for a year. And a threat to engage in criminal summoning while she's monitoring, all right? And engaging in what is a threat to engage in fictitious exercise of authority, charged with trespassing if I enter before May 28, 2023, while they're engaged in the pattern of conduct. So this is what it says. If you enter the Upland Public Library before May 28, 2023, the police will be summoned and you will be charged with trespassing. This is pursuant to what is a pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. This is also relevant to what is a threat to engage in criminal summoning. This is an admission, all right? This is the pattern of conduct underway at the Upland Public Library while they are, again, hostile to being documented as the sex offenders that they are. They were stalking me in a bathroom. That's exactly what my documentation establishes with regard to the pattern of conduct, in concert with the Upland police who are stalking me at the public library, at the Upland Public Library, inside of the bathroom at the Upland Public Library, stalking me by helicopter, stalking me by the police who are present pursuant to criminal summoning at that same Upland Public Library, where the entity keeps the fake sun all day in directed light inside of that venue. They know very well the substance of the evidence against him, and this is the pattern where you document that, and the entity engages in what is seeking to obstruct justice. This is again, the date on it is printed May 28, 2022. This is an act by the city of Upland, by the way. This is a public venue. I want to be clear. Engaging in what is trying to ban me from a public venue based on unfounded and unsubstantiated. This is, again, making up information and then just ushering you out by the police, literally making it up. So you're talking about walking into a library, anybody stating, oh my goodness, you stole my pen, I'm calling the police, and we want you to leave for the day, and if you don't leave, then we're going to charge you with trespassing. That's literally what they're doing, okay? But again, it's more serious than a pen, but I'm giving you the example of what they're doing, making it up. And then the police that they're summoning. But again, I've documented the police as well. The police are monitoring as well. So you're summoning the police department who are stalking me, and they're stalking me via you, and then you are acting with that police department to remove me while I'm documenting your criminal conduct that's underway at this exact venue, okay? So understand that and how that works. It is currently, by the way, 10:20 a.m., and the fake sun remains here at the Upland Public Library over me, where this director hands me the piece of paper and runs downstairs. This is still monitoring. She's crossing path, but this is a minion that does not, again, that you're talking about an inability to make sense of what they're lying about. You can't make sense of what you're lying about. You're talking about name calling, which is unfounded. That's a bunch of malarkey. It really doesn't matter. I could talk about whatever I want on my phone, by the way. And somebody's hurt feelings I could not care less about. You're talking about what is offensive while you're stalking in a bathroom. That's what matters, okay? And you are stalking on behalf of the Upland Police. And then you're talking about what is then calling the police, making defamatory false allegations about taking pictures of people in the nude, because that's necessarily what you are speaking of, because being in the bathroom with your phone, period, is not a crime. It's not illegal. Not even in their alternate universe where they are exercising fictitious authority. It's not illegal. And you're documenting what is conduct by the state. Never forget the P.O.C. that's underway. So you're talking about what is the pattern of conduct that I'm documenting in the Upland Public Library. These are minions. I want to be clear. They are very, very scared. This is the conduct of Satan that's engaging in what is the obstruction of justice. This is the pattern. All right, and they do so while you are documenting their POC. And this is, I want to document what is Yuri, her name is spelled Yurihurtado. And it just states in general, you may appeal this ban to the library director in writing. This director is creating this is a targeted means of harassment. You're creating some ban, which are based on false allegations, and then stating that I have to abide by this is a method of a ban that you have created for purposes of excluding me while I'm documenting your criminal conduct, and where you're, in other words, creating this means of excluding me, and then you're exercising what is personal discretion with regard to what is your unlawful exercise of authority in the first place. All right, so this is unjust all the way around. This is what I want to speak to, but nonetheless, this is relevant to what is fear. Okay, fear for your criminal conduct, and just hoping that I just go away. Okay, that's what you're hoping, that I just go away while I'm documenting day in and day out the fake sun that's remaining over, the directed light, and your stalking conduct, your sex offender stalking in the bathroom, and that's the bottom line. And they are going to federal prison regardless, whether I'm in the Upland Public Library or not. But I want to document this because this is also relevant. This is impunity. Understand this. And it is currently 10:22 a.m. I want to show you what's the fake sun that is remaining over me while I stand outside of the Veterans Monument. The entity's light source is not over the roof because I'm not inside of the Upland Public Library. It's 10:22 a.m. Alrighty, I did want to make sure I captured images of this. I'll be publishing this. This is the entity. Understand, Upland Public Library is nothing other than what is a state facilitating venue where the entity is monitoring and engaging in what is ongoing obstruction of justice. All right, that includes, it's the Upland City Hall. This is the city of Upland engaging in that criminal act. This is the Upland Police Department engaging in that criminal conduct, and the entity is engaging in what is obstruction of justice while you are documenting their criminal conduct. All right, and this is where you have what is Yuri Hurtado, whose license plate I've specifically documented, whose pattern of criminal summoning upon, again, methods of targeted harassment. Okay, the Upland Public Library, again, literally creating a band. You just created it. The Upland Public Library, you have no grounds to exclude from what is the city of Upland, a venue of the city of Upland. This is public property, in other words. This is property belonging to the people, and that's what's relevant about the city of Upland, and or an analogous property. And the entity is engaging in that sort of conduct at the Upland Public Library, where they're engaging in monitoring at the Upland Public Library, and they're doing so with the Upland Police, with the Upland City Hall. And this is the creation of a ban where it is public property and you do not have the right to do so, and you're threatening to engage in a criminal act, criminal summoning, exercise of fictitious authority. So understand that. And this is the entity that is group stalking at 10:25 by helicopter. Yuri Hurtado, Tracy Randolph. You have Cindy and Carissa. They're going to federal prison. This is speaking to what is that ongoing result, which is necessary as a matter of justice. These are psychopaths who are engaging in what is criminal activity. And when your tactics don't work, when your lying doesn't work, then you put your lying on paper, or you escalate those lies, and then you summon the entity, the police, who are stalking with you. And I'm documenting all of those minions together while you have a pattern of documented stalking conduct, having no legitimacy whatsoever. So I want to be clear, they don't even have the authority to exclude from what is a public property. Okay, so I just want to document that. It's currently 10:26 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, it is currently 10:42 a.m. The light source, again, the light source is remaining over my head while I'm at the Upland Veterans outside of the Upland Public Library. It's as I captured it. Approximately 10:22 a.m. standing outside, remaining outside of the Upland Public Library. While I'm inside, it's over the roof. It's directly over my head. You would not be able to see that from the Veterans Monument where that light source is present. This is speaking to the P.O.C. that's underway. And it's clearly, again, not over any Starbucks or Target, for example, where I was yesterday in Montclair. This is the pattern of conduct underway while the entity is engaged in that ongoing method, what are literally a bunch of petrified minions, as they seek to exclude from a public venue. All right, that's the city of Upland. It's public property. So 29MAY15-93138U2. And that is the city of Upland that's engaged in criminal monitoring. And then trying to, you cannot exclude American citizens from this. That's literally the property of the people. It belongs to the people. You're talking about what is also false allegations in order to do so, in addition to what is making up a policy that you under the law actually don't even have any authority to do, including on unfounded allegations. 2 NPY 308 7 REY 049. And why do they do that? Because they are criminals. That is Satan. That is very, very scared. 82799G1. That's UPS. And they should be scared. You very well should be. This is the pattern of conduct that I've shown you. It is unmistakable. I'm showing you what is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, which includes obstruction of justice. All right, that's what making up rules are. That's what engagement in targeted harassment is. That's what lying about what the third parties are doing, lying about what the targeted individual has a right to do, which is document monitoring as you remain subject to it, and engaging in what is defamatory accusations, which again, why am I not being prosecuted for, and that will be, again, a fictitious act of authority, but 8 RVD 911, why am I not being prosecuted for what is a sex offense? All right, where's this victim that was sexually sexually offended, sexually violated while I'm filming them in the bathroom? All right, this person does not exist because it didn't happen. All right, the entity is engaging in what is waging false allegations, and that's all they have, so they're going to keep up with what is the lies that that's defamation to, there's so many federal charges here. The entity engaging in, again, breaking this down, the entity is engaging in what is defamatory allegations, false allegations, while they're monitoring with the Upland Police, who are stalking by helicopter while I'm at their venue in addition to that. And they're doing so with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented and engaging in what is then seeking to, it's relevant to what is obstruction of justice. This is the literally seeking to obstruct the ability to document the entity, all right? And that's what's relevant to the pattern of conduct of excluding from the library, where you don't, a public library, all right, that's a facility of the local government, and you're doing it based on lies and making up a policy to exclude me, and you don't have the authority to do that at the venue, and you also are making up information. You're defaming while you're doing that, all right? So I want to make sure all of that is understood. It's currently 10:45 a.m.
Route 83.
This is Route 83.
Upland. Please have your fare ready.
And this is bus number 2353, and the fake sun is remaining over me while I'm on Route 83 that's going northbound, leaving from the Upland Public Library. Again, like I said, the Upland City Hall, the Upland Public Library, this is local government area. You don't have a right to engage in that, and you certainly don't when you have unfounded bases, and you're talking about what is exclusion for a year in every way. You're talking about what is outside of the bounds of the law. They have no authority for that under any circumstances, and you also don't when you're engaged in criminal monitoring, which is exactly what the entity is seeking to avoid documentation for. All right, you're going to prosecute for that. That is, again, impunity. That's what you're witnessing. It's called impunity, and they are indeed subject to federal prison for that. It is 10:46 a.m. All right, directed light flashing on this bus. This is an Asian male operating this bus. While the bus is, we're at Foothill and Euclid Avenue right now at 10:48 a.m. Flashing on the panel right here in front of my face, while the people of the state are group stalking on the bus. All right, it's 10:48 a.m. We're at Uptown and Country Shopping Center in Upland, California. All right, the license plate of Omnitrans 1522056. This is where the Asian male that's operating the bus gets off, and he switches with the Caucasian female. That is at 10:49 a.m. 5 NRX 102. Group stalking at 10:54 a.m. at 9th Street and Euclid Avenue. Fake sun right over me through the window of the bus that I'm seated on that's going southbound on Euclid. 7X UA 728. 8VJB 971 at 10:56 a.m. 13907J1. License 7SJP052 at 10:57 a.m. License 35868Z1 8VHA 635 at 10:58 a.m. All right, license 35868Z1, capturing video at 10:58 a.m. 24 hours ago while I'm in Montclair, and the entity's keeping that fake sun directly over me in the city of Montclair. I also took a picture this morning during the 8 o'clock hour at the same exact intersection where I just ended my video at G Street and Euclid Avenue, where the fake sun is over me in the same position through the windshield of the vehicle of Tracy Banks that I'm inside of, and the fake sun is over me at that hour. I'm at the same intersection again where I'm capturing the fake sun over me at 10:58 a.m. That's also understanding what is nothing other than stalking with with a fake sun. This is a demonic environment. This is criminal monitoring, and that specific environment that's following, stalking with an environment is demonic. And they're doing so using commercial vehicles like UNFI and such as Omnitrans as well, and the people of the state who use in operation of a communication device and directed light, which is on the bus 7M07233, excuse me. And doing so while the entity is keeping the fake sun over me at 10:58 a.m. All right, it's 11:01 a.m. After I am at the parking lot area, I sit inside of the Starbucks in Montclair, and the fake sun is directly over my head while I sit there at 11:05. That is not the case. That's not the sun that's over my head. This is capturing the demonic. This is capturing the criminal setting where Yuri Hurtado is engaged in criminal obstruction of justice, excluding me by printing out a piece of paper based on what are lies, and also under authority that she doesn't have to exclude me from what is property that belongs to the people. The Upland Public Library, that's the city of Upland, all right? That's like trying to exclude me from the Upland City Hall, which is also directly across from the Upland Public Library. This is property that belongs to the people. So I want to be clear on that, and I'm documenting this while I leave that property with the intent to document that criminal conduct. License plate 8FWL825. And while they're engaging in what is creating a means to ban me, which is a superficial means, it's entirely artificial. You don't have the authority, and you're also lying. You're putting it in paper, and you're threatening to call the police, who are stalking as well. And not only that, you're engaging in doing so based on lies which are unfounded, which again was already dealt with while they departed from that narrative and went on to what we would just want to leave, or we're going to arrest you for trespassing, which is exercising a fictitious authority as well. But let me be clear, this allegation of what is filming in the bathroom, which did not occur, which is a criminal defamation while the entity is engaged in P.O.C, the Upland Public Library, public grounds for the people, engaging in what is printing that defamatory allegation, which is false, and giving it to me as a means to exclude me from what are grounds of essentially the local government, the city of Upland. Okay, I want to document that. Doing so under what is the fake sun. It's 11:03 a.m. I'm at Euclid Avenue and C Street. This is P.O.C. 6S. I can't really see that license plate.
Ontario Civic Center Transfer Station.
That is license plate.
Connecting to 161, 83, and 87.
It's 11:04 a.m. License CD22M25. Stalking with directed light. And license 8RNH681 and 6SWM632. Stalking with directed light. It's 11:04 a.m. Alright, showing you images while I'm on Route 83. The fake sun is directly over me on Euclid and Holt Boulevard. We're in the evening at after 7 p.m. by the way. The entity is keeping that fake sun on that same street. As though the sun is setting there. It's also where the entity is keeping the fake sun directly over my head. At the same time, through the window of the Starbucks on Central Avenue in Montclair. No, that's not occurring at the same time. They're stalking with the fake sun, and I'm capturing those images, which you can see at Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard. You can see 150 East Holt, that's San Bernardino County Public Health Clinics. The entity is engaging in what is keeping that fake sun. You can see the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, which is directly across the street from that. That would also, again, common sense, where I'm showing you the fake sun over me while through the window of the vehicle where I'm inside at 9:49 a.m. as I documented the other day. That would be the entity keeping that fake sun in a direction east of that location where it is at 9:49 a.m. by the way. Or I captured that outside of 630 North Fern. Also 9:49 a.m. as I also documented that at what is the Upland Public Library. And then you have it at 11:05 a.m. somehow south of that location, in perfect alignment with me at I think I captured that image at 11:06 a.m. That's the pattern of conduct, just moving, keeping a light source directly over me. And my documentation exists, by the way, of 11:05 a.m. where I'm already in the city of Chino, California. And I'm showing you what's the fake sun over me at the law offices of Landeros on Central Avenue in Chino. That is also another example. Also, the entity keeping the fake sun over me while I remain at Mercy House as I documented. The entity's keeping the fake sun over me at 11:05 as I documented in the city of Fontana, directly over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library. So this is the ongoing P.O.C, and I'm showing you what is not over the roof of the Upland Public Library either at the same time, which is what the entity engages in while I remain at those venues, which is not occurring at the same time. The sun is not over the Fontana Lewis Library, the roof of that venue, and at the same time over the roof of the Upland Public Library, and at the same time over the edge of the building of the Landeros Law Office in Chino, California. All of whom are the light source is directly over my head in those mutually exclusive positions, all of those different cities at the same time, while I'm also in movement on public transportation, and the light source is over the same venue, by the way, where the sun is present at 7:30 in the morning, where the Ontario police are group stalking. All right, that's that totality of that documentation showing what is group stalking conduct. It's 11:08 a.m. and those are pictures that I took. You can see those on the G drive. 72268E3, group stalking with the entity that's surrounding the pathway with directed light is what they're doing along the streets using utility trucks. That's Minions group stalking with light activity, and this is a commercial vehicle, which is Doritos. That's the logo on that vehicle, while they're group stalking in the path at 11:12 a.m. 91236H1. JDB211. License 8SLX351. 7XYF301. License 7MOU997. It's 11:15 a.m. Showing what is the group stalking by people of the state. This is Omnitrans monitoring with 7MOU997, representing the people. Understand they're one entity. The entity is keeping the fake sun over Starbucks in Montclair yesterday, as I captured. But you have my documentation that's also speaking to my presence already in Chino, California, where this bus is headed. I've arrived there, for example, at 10:35 in the morning, fake sun over me. I stopped off at Schaefer and Euclid Avenue, the fake sun at 10:19 a.m., remaining there until 12 p.m., getting back on the bus, coming back toward Ontario. Remember, this documentation is already published. I'm already present at the Chino Branch Library at 11:09 a.m., but yet you have, again, as I'm arriving at a later hour, which is, again, the sun is not remaining over the Upland Public Library while that coexisting documentation is underway. It's also not remaining over the Starbucks. This is how you're documenting and revealing what is a satanic system, and these are a bunch of demons that seek to exclude me from public grounds. All right, you're going to federal prison for that. It's 11:16 a.m. and because they are engaging in what is indeed sexual violence, and then seek to defame the target individual where they're subject to that sexual violence and exercising their right to document that, and in no violation of any law, not even where they're exercising fictitious authority under the law. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 11:16 a.m. 4ME8535, monitoring with Omnitrans. This is the bus that I'm on. The fake sun is remaining over me, and the entity aiming directed light through the bus while demons are crossing path on the driver's side of the bus, and minions are pacing around, including Amazon Prime at 11:17 a.m. 8BWZ598, the same. 8LWH753. 8485V handicap. 8057994. 8U21899, I believe. It's 11:17 a.m. 8LKD129. 5PXZ242. 7U31428. At 11:22 a.m. at Chino Avenue and Euclid Avenue.
Chino Avenue.
52916K3. BYA063, 8ZEX619 at 11:23 a.m. 11:25 a.m. showing you what is the fake sun that's remaining over me and is not at any location over a Stater Brothers parking lot, over the Starbucks at Chino Avenue and Schaefer. It's on the driver's side of the bus while the bus is driving southbound on Euclid Avenue, in the city of Chino on Euclid Avenue in Schaefer, and I'm showing what are images. I'm taking pictures of that street, while the entity at this time, I'm inside of that plaza that I'm taking pictures of, and the entity's keeping the fake sun over me as I document at 10:35 over the roof of the Starbucks in Chino, California. It's over my head while I walk in the parking lot, while the entity is group stalking by the people of the state who are molesting inside of that Starbucks as I'm walking outside, and the entity is stalking by aircraft. The fire department's engaged in criminal summoning. I documented all of that. All right, and I'm also documenting the absence of the light source that would be over the Upland Public Library, for example, which, again, the Upland Public Library is nothing other than a state facilitating venue. We're engaged in criminal surveillance, and while they're documenting and very fearful of the documentation, the entity then engages in what is the obstruction of justice, injecting themselves, by the way, in what is a legal process. Right, engaging in what is seeking to stop that American citizen who was documenting and prosecuting a government placing them under surveillance through them. Right, and you go to federal prison for that. But nonetheless, I'm showing you what's the fake sun over me through the bus, the window of the bus. 7VYM293 is group stalking under that same light source, which is not stationary over the Stater Brothers Plaza at Schaefer and Euclid Avenue. And by necessity, what logically follows, it's also not over the Upland Public Library, which is the case while I'm inside of that venue. It's 11:26 a.m. Turning onto Eucalyptus Avenue at 11:27 a.m. Keeping the fake sun over me, street for street, turn for turn, as I've captured on video before. This is exactly what the entity is doing on this route for 83 at 11:27 a.m. This is employee 2647 operating this bus right now. We're passing Chaffee Avenue and Eucalyptus Avenue on Route 83 at 11:30 a.m. All right, you can see at 11:31 the light object is directly over me through this window on Route 83 while the bus is proceeding to drive through what is this Chino campus off of Eucalyptus, and this is captured in a still image directly over my head. And I've captured this in video plenty of times. I'm just showing what is the ongoing maintenance of this light source while it's remaining over the Starbucks yesterday in Montclair. This is literally capturing what is demonic, all right? And Omnitrans is monitoring. Omnitrans is nothing other than a venue, just like Starbucks yesterday. That was the venue where the pattern of conduct was underway, where group stalking is underway. Estes, molesting with directed light. License plate 66073H2 is also molesting. Estes is a trucking company documented in group stalking in Rancho Cucamonga on April 8, 2022, where the entity was keeping a fake sun as I then went to the DMV. All right, that's ongoing documentation, just so you can recall that third party. They're crossing path, and the entity is molesting with directed light, while the rest of these minions are pacing around with Estes, E-S-T-E-S. It's 11:34 a.m. We're at Edison Avenue and I believe College in Chino, California. License plate 7JNS821. License 7EYU777, 7LVJ329, 8WES910, 7SBK257, 6HGZ201, 6492X. I can't really see that one. But 8UAG631 is molesting, and this is Smuckers. Smuckers is 64942X1. That's a commercial vehicle they're molesting. At the CNS liquor store at 13711 Central Avenue. 5BNT115. That's demonic. What you're listening to, it's an amplified audible activity. The fake sun is right over me. And it's 11:36 a.m. Snap on, crossing path at 11:36 a.m. 8VWJ718. The terrorists direct the light across the roof and the side of the bus while they're driving by. This is a demon 7SCL426. License 5FBE229, 8CEJ434, 5JB5057, HUNEEB 8AWU559, 7DFB006, 7JJW577, Student Transportation of America, group stalking at a red light, and they turn their hazards on where they're stopped at a red light. They're stalking in the path of light activity under the fake sun at 11:37 a.m. Arriving at the Chino Transit Center, where again I document I'm already here at 10:35 in the morning. The fake sun is over my head at the bus stall that says the number 84 on it. I'm being molested with directed light, and the fake sun's right over my head. That's already documented. And then I use 10:35 as additional examples of what is stalking with the fake sun, necessarily the case while I'm inside of the Upland Public Library. And while I'm at the Starbucks in Chino, California, inside of that plaza where I'm showing you the light sources over me on the bus, I'm not over that plaza. And while I am in what is Montclair, California, at the plaza where Target is located in Montclair. It is currently 11:38 a.m. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is license plate 1545833, bus number 2353, arriving at Omnitrans, on Omnitrans Chino Transit Center, where the fake sun is right over me as I am getting off. And you're looking at Omnitrans employees who are group stalking, and they're monitoring with communication devices. 78EZ122 9AOL 490 42616J3. And I'm at that same bus stop stall with the number 84. I took a picture of the fake sun is right over my head. And this is what I documented when I arrived earlier, a couple weeks ago at 10:35 in the morning. 7TYJ152, 6GQT826, 8ZTB865, WHOUDAT. This is Omnitrans. This is Route 85. Bus number 2363. I'll get that license in a second. License 8HGG017, 6UEJ660. And Omnitrans license plate is 1545907, stalking with light. Bus 2344, license 1545683, stalking with light, Route 88 at 11:40 a.m. License 7MHJ396, 8CNN071, 7MBE287. And that is, again, third parties that are the Omnitrans, the company engaged in state surveillance, stalking with audible and light activity. 8EDS631, 7VGY142, 6RDZ749, AYYWAY, 8EJW087. And David, employee 2366, is the one that's operating Route 88 with license 1545683. Doing so under the fake sun. It's 11:41 a.m. David is engaging in what is that impermissible threat. He's group stalking at the Chino Transit Center. He is monitoring, and he is aware of the fact that he's been documented. This is the entity that is obsessively stalking and monitoring with the government, on behalf of the government, while being documented, right? That's the impermissible threat. It is 11:41 a.m. 8TMR 964, 8MXC 767, 5HDV 737. Enterprise truck rental. It's present in relevant position, crossing path, group stalking at the Chino Transit Center. Stalking with light activity. Let me get the license plate of this one. They're just over here with their hazard lights on, maintaining light activity in the perimeter. 8WYX805. All right, the hazard lights on Enterprise truck rental. This is the use of a commercial vehicle to engage in state surveillance of the people under the fake sun. And doing so, let me see, license 79869V2. It's P.O.C. It's 11:42 a.m. Now, you're recalling documentation where I've already shown you what is the P.O.C. in Chino, and this is how you're showing what is an ongoing ceaseless pattern of conduct, and that's how you're understanding what is also a superficial distinction as I go from city to city. I'm showing you what is a pattern of conduct as I am going from venue to venue, if you will. This is understanding what is state surveillance. The entity is monitoring while I am in Chino, California. That's why you have what is that impossible presence in its zenith over my head on public transportation, getting off at whatever location. It happens to be in Chino. While I'm already in Chino, documented on previous occasions, multiple occasions, and the fake sun is remaining at this time, as I've already documented, over the roof, directly over my head at the entrance of the Chino branch library. All right, and that's not what's going on while I'm on the bus, obviously, while I am getting off right now and showing you with the fake sun as I get off the bus, as I walk toward that venue. And the minions are stalking in the path with light activity, amplified audible activity, as you hear on the bus as I'm moving around documenting. 7EIG865, 9AYR323. So you're looking at what is surveillance, just group stalking sitting in their car, and the light source remains over my head. License 8XEB757, 7BWU355, 6GBP203, 9AAH328, 8VQD965, 6VJL475. All right, there is no sun that's remaining over a Chino branch library. All right, that's a light source that's over my head while I am at the Chino branch library at an earlier hour. Again, and while I come to the Chino branch library, that's the case of the environment. That's what's going on with the environment at that time on those particular days. When I'm remaining on the side of the Upland Public Library or remaining in Montclair at the Starbucks, That is impossible to exist at the same time. This is stalking with an environment, and as I'm showing you what is criminal surveillance, what is terrorism by demons who are stalking with light and stalking in the path. That's what group stalking is, and it's demonic. License 6U34438. All right, my documented presence at the same exact location at 9:45 in the morning. Fake sun is not present at 9:45 in the morning. At 9:48 in the morning, I took a picture today. Fake sun is over my head at the Upland Public Library. All right, this is the entity then following with that light source, following, speaking to what is not present already in Chino, California, keeping over me street for street and turn for turn. SCALBZA 8ETB493. 3EYX 912, 7ZTX 757, 8UAW 823, 8UAN, let me make sure I got that right, 8UAN 823, 7CHM 439, 6UJL 358, 7XVB 005, pacing in the parking lot, license 7HUL 988, and 7SNS 530. All right, and those are demons that engage in pacing while directed light moves all across the asphalt. They're monitoring. They're demons covering the grounds with directed light around me. 7XVB005, 7HHP039, 7XOJ306, 8WLX717, 8PTN 503, PJSC SMO, PJSCSMO. Yeah, 8GWW040, 8L55761, 6NLH 780, 7Y33412, 8GQG399, 8PPZ247, 6SEA027, 467NK handicap, J3268 handicap, 6P90244, 8GHV981, 7TKY845, 8HEU 857, 8MA8NG, which is Arizona, 43875D3, 5PRE 399, 7RXE128, 8PSP 584, 7WMB 630, 8BRF 007, 6NEP 649, 8WSC 932, 8XYS 819, 8TZP 260, ED 167 handicap, 8TSA 657, NEGRA 3, 7NUG 929, 815JM handicap. The entity is group stalking, again at state facilitating venue. The Freddie Rodriguez assembly member, it's a state facilitating venue. They're engaged in state surveillance. They are group stalking. They're engaged in this criminal system that the state is operating, and that's nothing other than a state facilitating venue where the local government is affiliated, engaging in the P.O.C. In that same exact demonic environment, demons pacing around, group stalking, stalking with light, stalking with the police. All right, that's the P.O.C. They're group stalking at the Chino Senior Center. Okay, they are group stalking obviously at the Chino Branch Library. Wherever it is that I remain, demons entering in, maintaining presence all around, monitoring all day long. 77OBF handicap, 7UIL060, 8WUK111, 7MBC466, CD33A15, 6AKZ036, in case I didn't read that one. 467NK handicap, in case I did not read that one. They're group stalking at the senior apartment where I documented the fake sun directly over my head. My shadows appearing in the depths of that leasing office. All right, this is already documented. The fake sun, the sun is not over that apartment building. The fake sun is over my head while I was at this venue in this location at an earlier time on that previous date. Now, while I'm documenting day in and day out, while I remain in Upland or I'm in Ontario, that is speaking to the pattern of conduct that's already established. 5AZB384, they're all monitoring and they are all demons. 8FJE521, 82786D3, 82287, that's handicap. And it is 11:49 a.m. Hello. So I want you to hear what is the closure of the door. The door does not slam. All right, these are demons that engage in that audible activity as they pace in and out. As I've already documented, the loud slamming of the door while the entity keeps directed light inside of the venue, amplifies audible activity inside of the venue, and demons are engaging in nothing other than surveillance inside of the venue. As you heard, as I've recorded, there is no slamming of the door, and that's obviously not going to be the case. All right, everything is loud where demons are stalking, though. Okay, they're engaging in a pattern of conduct. But I just want to be clear on that. That's where the entity is turning up the volume of everything, and it's also the mark of demon possession. Demons walking in and out, loud door slamming is accompanied with that. They even use that as a method of stalking with audible activity. They are doing nothing other than what is pacing, in other words. It's currently 11:50 a.m. Alrighty, that is the entity stalking in the bathroom of the Chino Branch Library. And what you're listening to, those are demons using the paper towel dispenser as a means of stalking with audible activity. They're engaging in that sexually violent surveillance on behalf of the state and the police with a child. That's what you hear as well. That's relevant positioning that's underway inside of the bathroom. And that's literally, let me break down what they're doing. They are literally in a bathroom maintaining presence in the event that I enter. Okay, they're group stalking and doing so with children. You're going to prosecute that as any other sex offense with the inclusion of children. This is at the Chino Branch Library. It's 12:05 p.m. I've documented my presence remaining at Schaefer at the Stater Brothers Plaza, showing you the fake sun as I walk up to this library while I am on the bus. And this is indeed group stalking in the venue of the Chino Branch Library, where the fake sun is remaining over the Upland Public Library at the same time. That's an impossible occurrence. That's showing what are demons who are stalking, and they're engaged in criminal monitoring. That is also a very determined sex offender that will continuously stalk and monitor you while also seeking to obstruct justice, which the Upland Public Library is engaging in pursuant to conduct which is in conformity to the pattern by the people of the state. It's 12:06 p.m. This is federal stalking by entity in the bathroom. Alrighty, just want to document what is monitoring while I'm at the Chino Branch Library. And so this is what the entity has engaged in. I am accessing video documentation that was embedded back in, it was published back in April of 2022. It's been posted on my website. I am, again, upon my referencing a specific timestamp of showing what is the fake sun over me, the entity is engaging in what is monitoring, and this includes Google. This is where you're documenting the venues that are online, engaged in obstruction of justice. While the entity is monitoring in relevant position, the entity is monitoring on the venue of the internet, and companies such as Google are thereby documented. And if Google is, again, engaged in that pattern of conduct, blocking access to the website, or the entity is actually engaged in what is monitoring and obstructing the ability to access it while the people of the state are engaging in exercising control and limiting my access, whichever it is, you're still going to document whatever venue it is that's engaging in that conduct. And as far as the ordinary target individual is concerned, that will be Google. Google is the name that you're looking at on your computer screen. Google is the name that is blocking your access to your account. And this is what the entity is engaging in while on May 31st, 2022. This is video documentation captured in April of 2022. It has been published on my website. No activity on my account. Haven't touched it. But today, when I seek to upload my videos, and you know what I do with the timestamps of 3:03 p.m. today, May 31st, 2022, 3:03 p.m. yesterday, May 30th, 2022 in Montclair, California, and 3:03 p.m. In April of 2022 in Fontana, California. Very, very powerful documentation when you're looking at those images. That's the very thing that the entity does not want published. And what you're listening to are group stalking. This is group stalking by minions that both work in the library and who are coming into the library to monitor with San Bernardino County. This is Chino Branch Library. They're monitoring together in directed light under the fake sun, using the copy machine as a means of stalking with noise, using quarters, using their conversation, pacing all around in directed light. I've shown you what is the entity flashing directed light. These are demons. And I want to be clear, they're monitoring together on the venue of the internet. Google is a third party, which will be documented as well. And the entity seeks to obstruct my ability to access this video. It's entirely pathetic. I'm still going to embed on my YouTube channel, but I want to document that. Today, when I access it, and this is documentation that was already published, I will publish the email. When they, again, moments after I embed it onto my website, then you're blocking access to that in order to in order to obstruct the ability for that embed, the video embeds, to generate onto my website. That's what they're seeking to obstruct. I will still include what are the YouTube videos, but I want to be clear. The entity is engaging in what is desperate acts of obstruction in the same way that the Upland Public Library engaged in kidnapping. Those are desperate acts of obstruction where you don't even have authority under the law. You are scared because I'm documenting you as a sex offender. You're surrounded with evidence of what is that environment where your group stalking in, and you're monitoring with the demon-possessed police department who are documented engaging in what is stalking, including by helicopters at that same venue. This is the entity that engages in such conduct. That's why they're going to federal prison. And you're also documenting whatever actor that is. On the venue of the internet, it is Google. All right. And I will include that documentation in the Google Drive. It's currently 5:37 p.m. This is documentation of what is Chino Branch Library, by the way, engaging in what is obstruction of justice. They're monitoring on the venue of the internet the people of the state engaged in group stalking with the entity itself on behalf of the state, and they're all monitoring on communication devices. That's how they're engaging in this conduct, seeking to obstruct the ability to access my documentation, which has been and remained available. There is no abuse on my account. Anything that's occurring, it's based on the criminal monitoring of the state. I'm the only one that has access to my accounts, to my emails. I use it for embedding, accessing my Google accounts, and embedding those videos onto my website. There is no abuse. There is also no grounds of any disabling my account. And they also changed the process whereby they're disabling it. And this is a documentation of Google, because ordinarily you're able to just log into your account and retrieve access again. The entity, I've documented this before. Now they're making it such that you have to wait a period of time. This is obstruction. All of this is about, again, the loser that's being documented and trying to obstruct the ability to publish it. It's entirely pathetic, but it's very serious criminal conduct. You're talking about federal prison. Every minion inside of Chino Branch Library, the people of the state that I documented by license plate, those who are group stalking right now inside of the, for example, the senior center, around the Chino Civic Center, the minions that are in relevant position across Central Avenue, this is massive surveillance, and the entity is together working to monitor with communication devices seeking to obstruct the ability to access this information that is has been available until the day that I seek to embed a video next to a video that I documented today, where Chino Branch Library is full of demons who are group stalking and monitoring. They're psychopaths and they're violent sex offenders, and they're engaged in that criminal system right now. And that's why you engage in that sort of conduct. It's 5:39 p.m. This is P.O.C. License BE 86U15, molesting. It's paper 7GDB 476, molesting. 7BXE 579, molesting, and doing so with children. They're engaged in surveillance in the parking lot under the fake sun and possible light on the floor inside of the Chino Branch Library. And the entity is engaging in what is molestation. This is the flashing directed light. While they're all monitoring, trying to stop my ability to upload, it's so pathetic. That's why I'm laughing. But this is very serious criminal activity. I mean, you're going to sit in federal prison for that. They are. But that's how pathetic and scared they are. You're trying to block that's how pathetic. I'm telling you, Satan is no formidable adversary. 7HHP039, 8XVT983. And they're going to federal prison, and they should be scared. Okay, so specifically, it's video documentation of Upland Public Library, as I captured this morning, 9:04 a.m. The fake sun is over me at that same venue, as I explained in that venue. The fake sun is already documented, remaining over that same roof. Again, as I described, 15 steps in the direction south over that same roof of that library, as I capture at 4:17 p.m. and another video at 5:02 p.m. The video documentation, the entity is trying to block from the ability to access my account so that I can't embed it. I uploaded, nonetheless, I embedded YouTube videos where you could see the consistency of all my documentation today. And that's the signature of a pathetic loser, 8UAN823. That's the sex offender that's stalking you in the bathroom and then wages false allegations about it, all right? And tries to obstruct justice, 8BNW425. But that's not very effective, and it's very dangerous when you're summoning the police who are stalking, and that's a matter of documentation, 7ZOL236. Everybody's going to federal prison. Everyone, every single last person. 8RKH640, they're going to federal prison as well. Engaging in what is an ongoing threat, an impermissible threat, just engaged in surveillance. As I show you the fake sun remaining over me, these demons sitting around in their cars, they're crossing path, engaging in open surveillance. That's an unlawful threat to somebody's life. And this entity is fully engaged in monitoring and this ongoing criminal stalking while it is trying to compete, but you can't compete, but trying to compete with my documentary efforts, right? Like Exhibit A, what the entity is doing online with regard to Google. And you're going to prosecute under what is, again, that's the third-party rule that will be documented as engaging in that. Google itself will respond to that. It's going to be a federal case. You're talking about what is revealing criminal surveillance that the government's engaged in. It's not some conspiracy theory and the tactics that an entity engages in while it's monitoring your documentation, seeking to obstruct justice while you have an ongoing threat to your life by a government that's an obsessed, demon-possessed stalker. Yeah, you're going to prosecute that, and Google can answer for that. Google, the company itself, with regard to the entity that's monitoring all these demons surrounding me, pacing all around. All right, the flashing of light increases based on how powerful that evidence is, and that's very powerful evidence. 9:04 a.m. and in the same venue over my head in the same way at the end of the day at 4:17 p.m. at 5:02 p.m. That's the video that they don't want you to see. You're going to see it, and it's already been published. Okay, so it's not a coincidence. ATMR 964. It's not a coincidence while I publish it today. All I'm doing is republishing that which was already published over a month ago. Okay, now the day that I want you to juxtapose, I want you to see it right next to each other. That's very powerful. When you look at what I documented this morning, 9:04. This is not the first time I captured that. 9:04 in the morning. Well, remember when I documented the fake sun over my head inside of that same building where I stood at 9:04 in the morning at 4:12 p.m. and at 5:02 p.m. All right, and you're talking about what is the entity that's on the day that I access that, which has been published for over a month. The day that I access it is the day that I get an email speaking to my account being disabled, and that I have to request access to it. That's obstruction. 4ZDK872. That's not a coincidence, that's obstruction. There are no coincidences, as you'll understand. There are no coincidences when you're documenting group stalking and demonic activity. This is understanding how Satan is working. Satan is present through it. People, Satan is using what are an army of minions who are working together. They are no match, though. They're no match. As you can see, you engage in all your criminal tactics, that's fine. You're going to pay for every single last violation, though. You're going to pay for it. I'm literally itemizing it in every single last detail. They're going to pay for it. So, and I don't mean just monetarily. I'm speaking to you're going to spend time in federal prison behind bars. And you're not getting out. The entity showing what is an impermissible threat. Any state posing such an impermissible threat will sit in federal prison for years. It's 5:57 p.m. And I'm at the Chino Transit Center where the fake sun remains over me. I showed you the fake sun over my head. As I exited, I showed you directed light that's inside of the Chino Branch Library. It's on the floor. It's got the shadow of the trees blowing in the wind inside of the Chino Branch Library. That's dynamic light. It's in the shape of the square window. It's magnified in size, and the trees are blowing in the wind. That's the light activity created on the floor. That fake sun is over me as I'm exiting at 5:52 p.m. The entity kept the fake sun as I'm still at Starbucks yesterday at 6:10 p.m. Okay, stalking with light. This is the entity that's engaged in that sort of conduct and wants to obstruct justice, all right, and doing whatever it can. It's entirely pathetic. And that's as pathetic as it is as I documented them at the Open Public Library today. You literally just try to make up a rule. Is that really what? Yeah, they really did that. Anyway, it's 5:57 p.m. It is bus number 2344. You can see the fake sun right above the bus where I stand at the Chino Transit Center. This is the same Chino Transit Center where I stand at 10:35 in the morning, and the fake sun is directly over my head. Right now, it's directly in front of my face over this bus right here where I stand. That's impossible. That's showing the same stalking with the light source, and it also moved from what is in alignment with any window or entrance of the Chino Branch Library. It's also nowhere near any Montclair Starbucks on Central Avenue in Montclair, California, where the entity is aiming directed light, and those demons are driving in the parking lot and directed lights all over the asphalt. All right, those are demons that are stalking, and those are demons that are stalking under a fake sun. And they are doing so because they're monitoring as well. That's what this demonic system is about. It's criminal surveillance amongst a demon-possessed entity. And it is the state of California that's engaging in that. It's currently 5:58 p.m. and this is P.O.C. at the Chino Transit Center. All right, the other bus is license 1399980. That's the Route 84. All right, he's showing you images of the bus driver. He's engaged in molestation. That's his voice. He's engaged in molestation with impossible light activity. He's engaging in surveillance in the bathroom at the Chino Transit Center. And then he walks out, crossing path. He's monitoring with the minions who are standing and getting on the bus on surveillance camera as well. It's 6 p.m. where I'm capturing this impossible light. This is a blue tinted light. You can see it on the side of the brick wall of the bus stall. You can see it on the floor. And this is impossible light while the fake sun is on the opposite side of that bus. But yet you have what is, again, the manifestation of what is blue tinted light. I guess sunlight is shooting through the bus itself and creating that light on the sidewalk, which is an ongoing sexual molestation by a demon. And this is the same one that drives Route 83 where I get on in Upland, California, the overweight minion who is engaging what is molestation again. And it is currently 6:04 p.m. I did document that. It's employee 2811, and I captured a still image of him. He's going to federal prison. He is a violent sex offender, engaging in what is repeated acts of molestation on an ongoing basis with knowledge of the fact that he's being documented. Alrighty, it is currently 6:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. Yeah. 7 PFP 481 8YYL 000 4 BFS. Oh, I can't really see that one. Alright, it's 6:05 p.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun in alignment with the Route 83. Now it's going back toward leaving Chino Transit. This is the same pattern. Coming from a different direction though, going toward Ontario from Chino, not coming from Upland to Ontario. The fake sun remaining in alignment over the window through the bus, through the windows of the bus, keeping it in alignment with me. All right, while I remained at the Chino Public Library today. This is indeed the P.O.C. All right, you see that fake sun as I captured an image right in alignment with me while I'm standing in front of the bus in Chino, California. Right? Employee 2811 is a violent sex offender. He's a demon-possessed group stalker. He's a terrorist. All right, that's what he's engaged in, and he's doing so with the people. 8BLY 579. We're at Schaefer Avenue and Central Avenue at 6:06 p.m. QML M42. That's Florida. License 44573J3. 7YRS 620. TGCB 05. Stalking, engaging in terrorism and sexual violence with underage minors who are equally engaged in a demonic system, but you're going to prosecute for the ways in which the entity is monitoring and contributing to delinquency, corruption, terrorism amongst those under the age of 18, sexual violence in concert with those under the age of 18. That's what employee 2811 is engaged in while he's molesting my body with directed light. All right, these demons, again, it's legally relevant. The movement and engineered light, understand it's monitoring conduct. All right, and where you are monitoring, legally relevant as well. Engaging in that which is sexually violent, predatory with those under the age of 18. I want you to hear their voices. Those are the underage minions who are monitoring the bus. At Ruben S.I.I.S, the entity is filled this park. They're monitoring at Ruben S.I.I.S Park where the fake sun is over me at 6:09 p.m. I took an image of that for you. 6:10 p.m. I stepped out of the Starbucks at Montclair, and the entity's keeping a fake sun so close that the entity's trying to suggest that sunlight is on that exit of that drive-through where that Starbucks is located, as though the sun is so close that it's, I guess, ricocheting sunlight off of the truck that those Latino males were driving as it's touching that Starbucks drive-through wall where they're ordering. All right, as though that's sunlight. It's not. The entity's light source is so close that it's aiming light onto that brick wall in that parking lot of that Starbucks, which is impossible light activity. But again, you're going to prosecute what the entity is doing. That is not light that would exist actually, because the sun wouldn't remain over the address all day long. But nonetheless, that is light that is also coming up at a downward trajectory, meaning it's hopping up over the building, and then at a downward trajectory in order to touch that brick wall, or where I'm capturing the fake sun at 6:10 p.m. at Montclair. In other words, this is impossible light activity. I'm showing you what's directed light that's on the floor, where my feet are, where my legs are. The fake sun's out the driver's side window, driving by the Ruben Ayala Park at 6:09 p.m. That is nowhere near the drive-thru. It's in perfect alignment with me as I stand at the drive-thru yesterday in Montclair, California. It is also nowhere near the Fontana Police Department at all. It is also not on Hope Boulevard at the Hope Boulevard Car Wash in between the Battle Lab and the Hope Boulevard Car Wash, which I also used as an additional timestamp. License 8TRR149. It is also not at that Hope Boulevard Car Wash in Ontario, where, by the way, I documented that same exact venue at 9:25 in the morning. Under no circumstances would the sun be there from 9:25 until 6:10 p.m. Even when you break it up into two different days, that has nothing to do with the sun. That's plain stalking with a light source. In the same way that you have it over the Fontana Police Department at 6:10, you have it over me, touching me with light while I'm on the bus, while employee 2811 is group stalking and molesting me under what is necessarily the fake sun at Ruben S. Ayala at 6:09 p.m., while it is remaining over Hope Boulevard and at the Hope Boulevard Car Wash at 6:10 p.m. That's impossible. In addition to being over Montclair Starbucks, as I documented yesterday. That's the P.O.C, by the way. And the entities engaging in the P.O.C. with those are minions who are under 18, including 8GWR813. They're a sex offender and they like to engage in stalking and sexual violence, molesting a person's body with directed light with those under the age of 18. So that's what they're doing at 6:12 p.m. 7WAV127, 8FSD443. Group stalking at San Antonio Avenue and Eucalyptus Avenue at 6:12 p.m. QML M42 is pacing. This is the same Florida license plate documented at Schaefer. They're stalking from street to street, intersection to intersection. All right, that's the traditional stalking. Group stalking is where you're vacillating with faces. This is group stalking conduct, and this is somebody that is stalking in the specific environment, and they are engaged in what is loitering in relevant position, in other words. All right, 5DOJ 842. 8TRR149, 8GWR813, that's a demon, 8WIK257, 8FSD443, 8UXV624. $6:14 p.m. U.S.O54 8YTH 825. It's 6:14 p.m. I'm on Euclid Avenue in Eucalyptus. I'm gonna show you the fake sun out the driver's side window and perfect alignment with me. 'UPS molesting, Wayne Dalton molesting. These are demons driving large commercial trucks, crossing path under the fake sun, amongst directed light, facilitating that criminal monitoring and that stalking and that molestation with minors. That's what these companies are engaged in. License plate. F3. Stater Brothers, the Stater Brothers Plaza, where I'm present. Let me show you a picture instead.
I already got one.
Excuse me. All right, I'm capturing what is the fake sun that is in alignment at the same exact intersection where I'm present at 10:19 in the morning. Even on that side of the street, at that same intersection where I stood Again, as I go, come from an opposite direction, the entity keeps the fake sun over me all day long, and that's what you're exactly witnessing as I just captured images. First of all, I'm being molested. 8ZAF255 is a sex offender and engaging in sexual violence with these minions underage on the bus, and my shadow is appearing above my head, up on the roof of the bus. 8ZEN828, employee 2811 is a sex offender molesting, engaging in this monitoring with minions under 18. 5ZGL833. And not only am I showing you what is my shadow that's appearing above my head on the roof of the bus, I'm also showing you what is the fake sun. 8YVD588, showing you what is the fake sun that's on the same exact intersection where I stood at 10:19 a.m. and also where I'm at that same intersection at the entrance, the ingress and egress for Stater Brothers. That's where the fake sun is over me in the morning and in the afternoon. And then I got on the bus, as I documented this, pretty much a little less than 2 weeks ago, and I go to Ontario. Okay, I go to Upland, and the entity keeps the fake sun over me there. Not today. It remains over me in Chino. It's not already at the Stater Brothers Plaza off of Schaefer, as I'm on the bus after 10:19 a.m. but before 12 p.m. and the sun is not over the Stater Brothers Plaza. It's over me while I'm on the bus en route to Chino. Second of all, as I captured at this time, it's in the same exact location it was in the morning as I documented on that day. 7DMN583. That is some profound documentation. You'll see my light activity. You'll see the shadow above. They're all group stalking on the bus. 4ZXB876. That is an impossible occurrence, not only because the sun is 8 p.m. E880, not only because the sun is supposedly over at the Starbucks in Montclair. 7EGU175, not only because the sun is, again, remaining at the Chino Branch Library at 6:10 p.m. as well. License 24987E1, not only because the entity's fake sun is remaining, for example, in multiple cities, Fontana at 6:10 p.m. and Ontario at 6:10 p.m. and all of those cities at the same time directly over me, in alignment with me, but also because my shadow is appearing above my head, people. It's on the roof of the bus, and there's multiple shadows. While the sun is supposedly in the sky, aiming downward on us, that's horizontal light. That's shooting light. That's satanic. Has nothing to do with sunlight. 6ZAN384. This is the P.O.C. All right, that's captured in still images for you. And all these license plates I'm reading for you, these are minions. These are the obsessed, demon-possessed minions who are monitoring with employee 2811. They are group stalking, and you can see the reality of what is their stalking conduct and not ordinary traffic, where that light activity is present. That is revealing what is Satan that's surrounding you. That is revealing the obsessed stalker. That is revealing the lawless criminal, okay? The very violent sex offender. And that's why that impossible light activity exists. And they're just group stalking one demon after another, chasing me down, following me from intersection to intersection. That's the reality of the demon-possessed of the people of the state. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's currently 6:19 p.m. That's what group stalking is. All right, the demon-possessed are animals, and they are literally pursuing you. And only a psychopath is doing that and trying to act like they're not. 71830Z1, and the act is not even persuasive, as I've shown you. Upland Public Library is like Exhibit F, okay? Because they're not Exhibit A. I've got exhibit after exhibit of what are the demon-possessed group stalking, and then want to engage in obstruction of justice while they're surrounded by evidence. Okay, 8JJP803. Those minions are scared because I'm naming them. I'm taking close-up images of them. I'm posting those images on my website while they're surrounded by evidence of what is irreducible, the irreducible P.O.C. stalking in an environment. They're scared. They're horrified. 70R, but they're not horrified enough to stop monitoring. They engage in more criminal activity. That's why they're going to sit in federal prison. 8XEW791. It's 6:20 p.m. Making up lies, you engage in more criminal conduct. When you're surrounded with evidence, psychopaths go to federal prison. 7DFC152. Psychopaths that are engaging in group stalking, they go to federal prison. Psychopaths that like to engage in this conduct, as I'm documenting, which are the people of the state, they sit in psychiatric wards in straitjackets. That's a matter of justice. 7REB706. It's 6:21 p.m. 1830Z1, 5FPK, excuse me, 5SPK074, and
Oh my God.
license 5VPN290, 7BEB706.
Enrollment is underway for children up to age 5 for full or part day programs. San Bernardino County
7D56599.
program for pregnant moms to be. Call 888-543-7025.
It is currently 6:22 p.m. License 7P56599. Again, that's 7P56599. 7VHC260. 8UGR815. BN53R96. Paper. 336LG. Handicap. They're all monitoring right now with underage minions. And these underage minions who are already stalking, they're demon-possessed group stalkers without any future. They are serving Satan at such a young, ripe age. And they're also engaging what is harassment, their audible activity while they're focused on me. This is the pattern by the demon-possessed who are hostile to documentation. All right. But again, their speech is audible activity. 8UAB215 is monitoring with minions under the age of 18. All right. It's currently 6:23 p.m. Currently 6:25 p.m. License 7JXX391. License 8JQJ563. 8M, I can't really see that one. BUB913. 7ZFP124. 3486B2.
Elm Street.
E3.
Belmont Street.
6TJE958. 41760W2. ZFP424. Direct the light across the roof of the bus while these demons are pacing around in traffic. 8XY8337. I want to be clear, employee 211 is going to be prosecuted for everything. So they're acting together, and that's the reality of criminal conduct when you're acting as an entity. So employee 2811 is engaging in that P.O.C. as these demons are pacing all around the bus. And that P.O.C. includes terrorism and sexual molestation. License plate 6ELV221, and this is what an entity is doing on an ongoing basis, incriminating itself, prosecuting itself. It's to its own demise. It's 6:27 p.m. License plate 41760W2. B3. Employee 2811, ongoing terrorism. Direct the light toward the roof of the bus. I've shown you this in plethora of videos. And for example, on Route 61 at like 8:26 in the morning, and directed light flashing was all over the roof of the bus. That's exactly what employee 2811 is engaging in, monitoring with the rest of these demons while I'm on Route 83. 8Z, oh, I can't really see that one, you scratch that one. 8M30, excuse me, 8M38090. 8BX, oh, you can scratch that one, you can't see that one.
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
Imposible. Favor pulsar en la puerta trasera.
6:29 p.m.
Ontario Civic Center Transfer Station. Connecting to Lot 61, 83, and 87.
J64670. 14430V2. And what is the far left lane, and that demon is creating what is directed light through the roof of this bus while he or she is crossing path. That's a demon at Euclid and Holt Boulevard. And employee 2811 is going to be prosecuted for it as well, including Omnitrans. I want to be clear, he's a sex offender, and that's ongoing terrorism, stalking with directed light. License plate. Let's see. 7GPW 747, 6UEW 149. JUH 426, 7GPW 747, yeah, that's correct. 6UEW 149, I read that one. It's 6:31 p.m. That's 6:31. Fixed sun is over me. I am sitting at the same bus stop right now. I took pictures of what our group stalkers getting on the bus. They're crossing path, flashing directed light across the roof of the bus while they are, again, driving on the street. The bus is taller. Sunlight doesn't ricochet horizontally through buildings or through vehicles, all right? This is demonic. And you're also understanding what is the same bus stop where I'm present at 8:30, 7:30, 9:30, 10:30, 12:30 in the afternoon even. And this is the fake sun in alignment with me at that same bus stop, okay? This is P.O.C. It's 6:32 a.m. Excuse me, 6:32 p.m. I just captured those images right now. Uh, 8MQN 580, 8MMJ 781, monitoring with these demons who are sitting on the bus, stalking in directed light. That's what they're doing. While directed light is flashing all about this bus, including the minion that is 2811 employee 2811. License 8EWH 207.
Stop requested.
7YIZ 729. It's 6:33 p.m. and yeah, I literally captured the images of the fake sun in an entirely opposite direction than when I'm leaving at the same exact time, walking out of the Upland Public Library. All right, and the entity's aiming that directed light inside of the exit doors. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is again employee 2811 operating Route 83, bus 2344, license 1545683, engaging in what is an ongoing sex offense. He's a sex offender. All right, 07957F2, in that he is molesting perpetually, all right? Not only with knowledge that he's being documented, but while he is monitoring, 7JLT473, and with the people of the state, demons that are crossing path, repeatedly touching all over you. The sex offender, 8WCZ042, 7FDF543, 6GAL555, 6SOC226, 38479B1, 8CPB596, 7JWU089, BS07MO2, that's paper, and 7R26774, 6LRF923. And again, as I documented a couple days ago, I left the Upland Public Library about 5:30, an hour before now. It's 6:35 p.m. And I got on the Route 83 bus and I went to the city of Ontario at the intersection of Euclid and Holt. And that's where I remained stationary up until this time and beyond that time, up until past 7 p.m. and speaking to what is the maintenance of that stationary light source at that intersection, so revealing what is no sun that is in any way present outside of an entrance of the Upland Public Library, which is not going to be the case when it's over your head at that same address in the morning. But nonetheless, I remained at that intersection of Euclid and Holt, getting on the Route 83 at an earlier hour, and I remained at that intersection where then the bus that I typically get on, that employee 2811 is typically driving, as I get on approximately right before 7, around 6:50 something, and the fake sun is moving in alignment just as it was as I came from Chino today. Okay, the entity is keeping that fake sun going in an opposite direction, coming from Upland, in alignment with me through the window, molesting with directed light, in concert with demons such as CAKELFE. They're stalking. All right, 8VEP569. And not only that, so when I did that the other day and I remained there, you're looking at what is the maintenance of that presence of that fake sun. The entity kept it right there, where there's no vantage point, where it's remaining over Upland in alignment with the Upland Public Library, the exit doors, such that sunlight is aiming diagonally through those exit doors, where it's over those exit doors, as I showed you this morning at 9:04 in the morning. I mean, it's completely demonic, okay? It's the unnatural environment, all right? And it is the unnatural, the abnormal pattern of conduct by a bunch of demons who are stalking. That's revealing that system. And so, like I said, this is employee 2811 who is driving that bus, and the fake sun remaining over me while I'm coming from Chino. And ordinarily, it's remaining over me as I'm coming from Upland Public Library. At the time I got off the bus now, this is around the time where I'm walking out of the library. And the entity's moving its fake sun, keeping it over me at 9th Street, keeping it over me while I'm at 7-Eleven, where I was this morning, and the fake sun is over me. Okay, that's what the entity's doing in the evening. All right, and doing so while I then get on the bus and it's going in the opposite direction, meaning opposite from where I came today. I came from Chino, and that's not just down the street. I came from Chino Transit Center, from the Chino Branch Library. The fake sun remained in alignment with me as I captured. I'm inside of the library looking at directed light. I walk outside. The fake sun is over my head. I'm at the bus stop. It's right there over the bus. I'm on the bus, street for street, turn for turn. Okay, 7L27578 is group stalking in the parking lot. 8WBX286 is group stalking in the parking lot with their foot on the brakes and in reverse. They're stalking with light. 8KPB066, 6SHR661, 7YCA655, 8YWF548, 8UXH481, 6KFE523. Showing you what are the demon possessed engaging in what is surveillance on behalf of the state. Only demon-possessed people are stalking strangers, and doing so, I mean, why would that? I'm telling you, I'll tell you why, because it is Satan that is engaging in pursuing you. 8YWF548, and it is pathetic, especially when you break that down as what it is. You're literally stalking somebody. That's so pathetic. 6KFE523. I mean, that's pathetic. This is 6:38 p.m. where the entity's fake sun is over me, where I'm at. Where I'm at is the Open Family Community Library, where I'm showing you the images of these demons who are group stalking in the parking lot. Maintaining light, you hear him starting his ignition. He's stalking in the path. As I walk past that vehicle, he starts his ignition, stalking with audible activity. The other one puts their foot on the brakes and the reverse light, stalking with light. They're acting together, while the entity's fake sun is over me and nowhere near Upland Public Library, following from the Chino Branch Library. It's a P.O.C. At 6:39 p.m. I'm entering Open Family Community Library, where there is at no time ever a sun that's going to be over their elevator or window. And it's also, as I documented, not going to be present from 10:19 in the morning until after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That is also speaking to what is an impossible occurrence. It's demonic, and they are stalking with light While the entity keeps engineered light inside of your venue, you're a demon stalking with light. All right, while you're flashing directed light around, you're a demon stalking with light. While you're under the fake sun crossing path, you're a demon stalking with light. That's the pattern of conduct. It's 6:39 p.m. Those are the methods of the entity maintaining that engineered light. This is how criminal monitoring is underway. And this is the P.O.C. at Over Family Community Library. Hello. What's your name? Stephanie. Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. Do you have any Clorox wipes?
They're all the way at the bottom. There's just like one left.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just throw it away. Do you want it? Okay. Thanks. All right, Stephanie is monitoring in relevant position. In directed light, this entire venue is filled with directed light. I've shown you what are the multiple shadows while I walk around. These are a bunch of demons engaging in criminal conduct, all right, where you are ignorant of that environment. They're all stalking. That's how, again, you're witnessing the psychopath. You're walking around sitting in a chair with multiple shadows. The shadows are crooked. You've got multiple shadows when you're walking around, and they like to sit there and try to act like they're focused on something. They're demons, and that's how you see Satan. They're a bunch of psychopaths. They're stalking. It's currently 6:41 p.m. GEN 638. They are monitoring inside of Woodside Senior Apartments, as I've already documented. This is demonic light activity, which is, again, clinically referring to it. Clinically referring to it, this is demonic activity. But with regard to the elements of monitoring, these are demons who are stalking in the path with light. Demons engage in what is stalking third parties that are engaging in the satanic system on behalf of the state of California, okay? They're stalking in the path with light activity. This is what they're doing inside of Woodside Senior Apartments. This is facilitation. Woodside Senior Apartments is a third-party facilitating venue where the Ontario Police Department flying over me while I'm sitting inside of this car, while I'm sitting inside of the car at Fern Avenue and G Street, and they have, again, this demon with this license plate, hazard lights on, while I captured video of the Ontario Police Group stalking by helicopter flying directly over me, okay? And you are looking at Woodside Senior Apartments, again, monitoring while the lamp was flashing a light. It's another iteration of the P.O.C. Stalking with light activity, it's facilitation. This venue is monitoring. And I've also documented the fake sun over me at this venue as well. This is pattern of conduct. So just want to document that this is P.O.C. at Woodside Senior Apartments. They're stalking with light activity, engaging in facilitation. These are the demon possessed who are 55 and older. There is no age limit or race restriction or anything like that. They're low income, engaging in what is demonic conduct, stalking, engaging in criminal activity with the state of California. And there is no issue with the entity that is the Ontario Police hovering over their apartments day in and day out by helicopter while the entity was doing as I was here, because they're monitoring. Thank you. All right, it is 8:48 p.m. Get out of the car. Because that's the Ontario Police flying over right there. So what is it? What's the difference if I get out of the car? Okay, I know you don't care about the Ontario Police stalking me by helicopter. 8VKC 845. No, I did not get out of the car at Woodside Senior Apartments where they're stalking with light activity, monitoring with the Ontario Police. It's 8:49 p.m. All right, stalking with light at 711, 8POU 504, 8XXE 435, 8TXR 120. All right, this is an African-American female with the 8XXE 435 license plate. She's group stalking inside a 7-Eleven. She's standing at the front of the line next to me when she should be actually getting behind me. But again, their purpose is to maintain perfect alignment. As I step out, the entity is flying directly over the 7-Eleven. This is the pattern of conduct, and that's exactly what I documented the Ontario Police Department, where they engaged in kidnapping on January 13, 2022. The entity is flying over the 7-Eleven at 636 North Fern, and the entity is engaged in criminal summoning. This is the people of the state engaging in that same exact pattern of conduct. It is currently 8:53 p.m. This is captured in still images. It's P.O.C.